should contact either the New Mexico Livestock Board at 505-841-6161 or their county sheriff's offices. Livestock owners may also call their local New Mexico Livestock Board inspector directly.
If you have an item for Talktivities, email it to calendar@pvbcradio.com. That's calendar@pvbcradio.com.
The Great One, Mark Levin, is now in Roswell on 106.5 KEND Roswell.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The eyes of the nation, indeed those of the entire world, are on the small town of Uvalde, Texas this morning following the mass shooting at an elementary school. Left 21 people, 19 children and 2 adults dead. Fourth grader Jordan Leas telling KSAT it was a terrifying ordeal, one that he and his classmates will likely never forget.
We just hear all kinds of gunshots going off, like nonstop, like constantly gunshots. And the world here all scared, on the ground, fearing for our lives.
The 18-year-old gunman fatally shot by law enforcement. Police say he shot and killed his grandmother before heading to the school nearby. All of the victims have now been identified, their bodies removed from the school building. Texas correspondent Jake Bleiberg says that reaction for elected officials on gun control mixed in the aftermath of the massacre.
We had the senator from Connecticut get on his knees in the U.S. Senate and beg his colleagues to take some action. And we've got the governor of Texas and the state senators from Texas set to speak at a NRA event on Friday. It's really, I think shows just how divided the United States are on the question of guns and who should be able to get them.
President Biden calling for more gun laws, while some Republicans say that more must be done to address the mental health needs of troubled individuals. One lawmaker saying it's a people problem, not a gun problem. And Texas Governor Greg Abbott expected to visit Uvalde, about 85 miles west of San Antonio, later today. Watching Wall Street, looks like we're headed for a lower open in about half an hour from now. The Dow futures down 121 points. NASDAQ futures off 52. The S&P futures down 15 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Have you ever thought you'd like to buy and sell houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? My name is Ron LeGrand, and over the past 40 years, I've bought over 3,000 houses without using my money or credit and taught thousands to do the same. Today, even in a virtual environment, we buy nice houses in nice neighborhoods using no banks, realtors, contractors, or other costly entanglements, and build huge cash flow and wealth without the hassle of tenants, all without credit and little or no money. You don't need a license or experience, and I'll show you exactly how it's done. Text radio to 99799 and I'll send you my free training. I promise I'll change the way you think about real estate and open the door to a new lifestyle that doesn't involve risk or rehabs and can quickly replace your current income. Text radio to 99799 and let me show you how to take your life back and build cash flow and wealth from your home. That's radio to 99799. Again, text radio to 99799.
Israeli soldiers have shot dead a 16-year-old Palestinian. Happened during clashes near a Jewish shrine in the West Bank.
Palestinian officials named the dead boy as Reith Yamin, who was 16. The Israeli army said they shot him because he'd thrown a Molotov cocktail. Asked why they used lethal force, they didn't respond. It happened in Nablus during a regular event that sees Israeli settlers arrive in buses to worship at a site venerated by Jews and Muslims. The Israeli army escorts them and says it was responding to Palestinians who threw stones and Molotov cocktails at them. Paramedics say troops used live ammunition, rubber bullets and tear gas, leaving dozens of Palestinians injured.
The BBC's Tom Bateman in Jerusalem. Chinese leader Xi Jinping defending China's record with the top UN human rights official, saying that each nation should be allowed to find its own path. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. Korean automaker Hyundai has a recall.
The recall due to seatbelt parts that can explode and injure vehicle occupants. 3 injuries have been reported, 2 in the U.S. and 1 in Singapore. The recall expands and replaces 3 previous recalls and includes 2019 through 2022 Accents, 2021 through 2023 Elantras, and 2021 and 2022 Elantra HEVs. Vehicle owners will be able to bring their cars to dealerships and have the problem fixed free of charge. John Scott reporting.
Georgia Governor Brian Kemp and Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, the winners of their respective Republican primaries. Former football great Herschel Walker won his U.S. Senate primary in Georgia, while GOP Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene came out victorious in her primary. Once again on Wall Street, Dow futures down 107 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Yeah, welcome to the middle of the week. I know it's a lot of people. I mean, it was after the news in Texas yesterday with the shooting at the I guess it was elementary. It was like 2nd through 4th grade there in Texas. Now it's I think this morning I was looking. The headlines are saying 19 children killed, and then very good. And then that was my fault here. I think I double booked you. That was my fault. Can we get you rescheduled? All right, let's do that. I'm sorry. We get Kevin in. We get you rescheduled.
You're a guy.
Yeah, I am. I
This is the place to be.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's like in that movie Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Act like wherever you are, this is the place to be. Isn't this great?
There you go. Mm-hmm. But I understand. We were just talking right there before I realized that double booked me. The tragedy yesterday. There's 19 children now, and now 2 teachers. Just sad, and I know
it hits on a specific level to me because I literally had to send my kid off to elementary school today.
I am sure there are a lot of parents just like you that were feeling the exact same emotions across the country.
Tears last night when I found out about all this.
Yeah.
Just I'm broken up.
It's upsetting, and all I can say is, the part that makes me mad, I guess. I mean, there's a lot that makes me mad about this, but one of the elements that bother me about this is the fact that now here we go again screaming about guns, and I'm like, it's mental health.
It's mental health. 100%.
And
I'm not trying to put one over the other.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I live in a town where a school shooting at a middle school happened in my recent history.
Yeah.
And
all have.
That one hurt. Yeah, exactly. That one hurt. For some reason, I can't even explain it. This one hurts so much worse.
Yeah.
It hits on a completely different level for me.
I think because of the volume, maybe. I mean, not that any shooting is a good shooting,
no.
but when you hear that nobody was shot, or if it was 1 or 2, and I mean that's tragic and you're scared, but when you hear these kind of numbers, you're like, wow, it's just a pretty rough thing here. So. I know a lot of us are kind of feeling a little melancholy this morning.
Emotionally exhausted was the best way I've heard to put over the last year or so.
Yeah,
I'm emotionally exhausted. I am so tired of feeling.
Yeah. I understand that. We it's just another layer. But all I could say is I hope at some point we say, you know what, this isn't about guns. This is about mental health, and we need to. And I've said this on the show 1,000 times, and I'll say it 1,000 more until we Susan G. Komen mental health. And what I mean by that is give it a color, and we're doing 1,000 walks, and we're raising gazillions of dollars for this. Right. You're going to continue to see these kinds of events happen.
Right, until we Lou Gehrig mental health.
I mean, that's what we need to do. And I think instead of people running around screaming about guns, and they're like, AK-47, I'm like, take away the AK-47, you're not stopping the violence. You're just giving them... they're going to get creative and use a different tool to do the same thing. Yeah. It's going to that I guarantee it. Until you fix the mental health, this is the kind of stuff. Unfortunately, I think we're going to keep seeing until and it's a whole lot. It goes and it starts from the top down, from our politics to the way people interact, to how we teach our children. Yep. It's from the top down. They need to assess mental health and how we do these things.
Agreed.
So, but. That's
and then there's that whole element of, oh yeah, we got to come and just bring the funny.
Yeah.
You ever heard the term? I mean, I know you have, but those out there in the public, have you ever heard the term "the tears of a clown"? This is one of those days where it rings true. You know.
I don't think it was a song when you said that.
Laugh, clown, laugh. Exactly. It's like you're that guy who has to put on the makeup and make everybody else smile and laugh, but it's like I'm broken.
No wonder clowns are depressing.
Exactly.
And they drink.
Yeah, exactly. The lives that clowns have to live when they have to put that makeup on and smile and be happy for everybody all day long, and they come home and it's just like, oh. Today it's like, I'm really feeling that.
Yeah. Yeah, you just got, I know we're getting off topic, but maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Clowns is one of those professions that, all they try to do is bring joy to the world. And they seem to be the most, notoriously troubled people.
To me, clowns is kind of like the same thing as, a Jehovah's Witness. It's a hard sell in America, but in other countries, in, non-English speaking countries, it seems like it's a pretty good proposition.
Yeah.
They have a pretty good... I bring that up because, a lot of the clowns of today come from, Colombia.
Do they? I have no idea.
South of the border. It's a big profession in Mexico,
more of an
Colombia, Puerto Rico.
They have clown colleges?
Yeah, they actually have, I think now that Ringling Brothers is done, I'm pretty sure that clowning is frowned upon in the States. But south of the border, it's big business.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. So, I don't know. But, I don't know. I just feel like, because... I think of maybe it's John Wayne Gacy that started this trend. I don't know.
Yeah, I think here's the thing. I think to gain respect in modern society, clowns need to up their game.
Yeah.
Stop with the makeup. That's not doing it for us anymore. Pratfalls are good. That makes us laugh. Deprecating humor, sure, absolutely. I'm all for it.
So you want to modernize the
clown. I think we need to bring clowns into the 21st century.
Okay. Bring some mimes while you're at it.
You don't need the makeup. You can knock off the makeup. We don't necessarily need it. I think
Well, maybe that's the first step. Maybe the clowns need to, because I think people start lumping mimes in with clowns, and clowns could be funny. No one likes a mime. There's nobody that says I enjoy mime work.
Yeah. Well, except for Marcel Marceau.
Nobody enjoys it.
I just think that I would argue that the Jackass crew, for example, is a great example of clowns in the 21st century. It's that's clowns for a new era. They knock the makeup off. They're just doing pratfalls. They're, showing their butts and stuff. That's clowns of a new era.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, this is true. So anyway, we pivoted. How do you like that?
There you go. It's what we do.
Let me give you the rundown of the show, which is a big one here. We're going to have Kevin Mavers join us here in just a little bit from City Development Director here, get us an update there. I double booked. We missed the folks from Oasis last time. They didn't make it in, so I rescheduled them for this week. But then I realized I double booked, so I'm going to have to get him rescheduled. Apologize. In the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to have Congresswoman Yvette Harrell call in right at 8:15 for about 15 minutes or so. Give us an update there, and then about 8:30 we'll talk with the folks from Big Brothers and Big Sisters and get an update from them. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, we got the folks from Tobosa joining us. And they've got a big event, big seventh inning stretch fun event with the Roswell Invaders coming up here. They want to get folks to come out and be a part of. So we're going to talk about that. And, of course, get an update on what's going on with Tobosa there as well. So we got that, plus all of your features include the news and all of that good stuff. And whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. But before we do any of that, let's get you up to date on the weather. Cooler today with this is like the last day of cool. And then after today, we're in the 90s tomorrow and then breaking the century mark on Friday. So I wish I had better news, but here you go. Enjoy.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have cool high pressure moving into our area today, so our temperatures will stay pretty comfortable. Lots of sunshine across eastern New Mexico. We'll be in the upper 70s to low 80s. Well, the overnight hours clear and we cool off to about 50, and then our daytime highs start going up on Thursday. About 90 for the afternoon high and sunny, right around 100 by Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 48 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 71%. Winds currently out of the west at 7 miles per hour. Sunny today, cooler. Highs near 80. 79 is what they're saying officially, so enjoy that. Beautiful day today, in my opinion. Winds out of the northwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, skies will be clear. Overnight low of 53. East winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, warming back up into the 90s. Sunny and 91 tomorrow. Winds out of the north, 5 to 10 miles per hour, so really not too bad. And then Thursday night, skies will be clear with an overnight low of 58 and east winds 5 to 10. And then Friday is when things go back to hot. The hot front, whatever you want to call it, is coming in. Sunny, highs near 100 on Friday with south winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Looking at the rest of your Memorial Day weekend, hot. Sunny and breezy with a high of 103 for Saturday. Sunny, breezy with a high of 102 on Sunday. And Memorial Day Monday, sunny, breezy, high of 101. And then looks like we'll be right around 100 on Tuesday when you head back to work and all that good stuff. So enjoy your cool day today because things do warm up after today. All right, it is 7:16. We're going to take a commercial break, and then we'll talk with Kevin Mabers, City Development Director, on the other side. Don't go away.
It's Big O Tire's Memorial Day sale. Get up to $140 in rebate savings when you buy 4 select in-stock Michelin tires with paid installation May 23rd through June 19th. We'll also give you a free conventional oil change when you buy 4 select tires this week only. Trust Big O Tires to always offer you quality service and great prices. Our expert technicians will help get your vehicle ready for the road, so you can focus more on where you want to go and less on how you'll get there. Hurry in and get up to $140 in rebate savings when you buy 4 select Michelin tires, plus a free conventional oil change. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Most vehicles, free oil change valid through August 31st, 22. Non-transferable, non-refundable, not valid with other offers. Disposal fees extra and up to 10% shop fee based on non-discounted regular retail price. Not to exceed $35 where permitted. Void where prohibited. Retailer offer is independent from manufacturer's offer.
J Block for governor. J Block, conservative, veteran, leader. J Block is the only choice to stand up and defeat Michelle Lujan Grisham. Mr. Block is a veteran of combat, serving in Afghanistan, a nuclear commander, and winner of the New Mexico State Republican Convention. As an America First conservative, Mr. Block has turned blue seats red and has never lost a race. Mr. Block will end the madness in Santa Fe once and for all. He's not a weatherman. He's not a rhino. J Block is a conservative, veteran, and a leader. Vote June 7th in the Republican primary.
Paid for by Friends for J Block.
At LeGrand Funeral Chapel, we believe that every funeral should be a reflection of the life it honors. The joys, the triumphs, the faith, the family, and so much more. For us, no detail is too small, no request too big. This is Rosa Aguilar. When the time comes to choose a funeral home, we hope you'll let us serve your family. At LeGrand Funeral Chapel and Crematory, we make it personal.
I have a snake for your drain. You might want to step back.
Oh no, baby.
All AC units moke a little. Is normal.
Oh no, baby.
Haha, now your sprinkler system's strong like bull.
Come on now. Don't let any fool work on your plumbing and air conditioning. Fergalicious. From clogged drains to sprinkler systems, Fergie's Plumbing and Heating is on the job. And who are you going to call for air filters and spring servicing on your AC unit? Fergalicious. Call Fergie's today, 622-2660. Nothing but love. Fergalicious.
KSVPTV.com is where you can watch the area graduation ceremonies this week. Wednesday, it's Artesia High School Baccalaureate at 7:30 p.m. Thursday, Roswell University High graduation at 6, Artesia High School graduation at 7:30. Friday, Goddard High School graduation at 7 o'clock. Saturday, it's the RISD Early College graduation at 11 a.m. and the Roswell High graduation at 7 p.m. If you can't attend or have friends and family members around the country or around the world, make sure they log on to ksvptv.com to watch the Class of 2022 graduation exercises. The broadcast of area graduations is presented by Pecos Valley Equipment, Trans Aero, Double D Animal Nutrition and Supply, Amigo Machinery, Sun Country Garden Center, J&J Home Care, Forest Tire, Carlsbad Medical, Carlsbad National Bank, the Eddy County DWI Task Force, and HF Sinclair.
Your fingernails grow faster on your dominant hand. Not sure which is your dominant hand? Just wait. You'll nail it. Here's Mike Winters.
That's a pretty good one. I like that one. Won't have to. Good morning. That's one that I'm just like, that's vintage my brain right there. Good morning. It is 20 minutes after 7 o'clock. Joining us in studio this morning from the city of Roswell here, our development director, Kevin Mavers, back with us. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, Mike. How you doing?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Well, loving the cooler, calmer weather that we're having today.
Enjoy today. Suck it up, drink it in, enjoy it, because 2 days from now it's going to be a whole different world. So.
I remind people that even though I'm new to Roswell, I grew up in the high desert.
Okay.
So
you're used to influx of temps.
The climate was virtually identical. The seasons were virtually identical. I mean, even the trees and the environment, the natural beauty, virtually identical. Where I grew up, we had cows and we had hay and alfalfa. We had all the agriculture. We even had artesian wells.
Wow.
Where I grew up.
So it's kind of a...
So coming to Roswell is a lot like coming home. So dealing with the spring... let's just say adversity in the weather, the 50-degree swings between day and night. That's just coming home.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's fun. To be honest, I don't want like the 100 and all that, but it does make you appreciate the weather a little more. Like when it does rain, you're kind of like, ooh, you know what I mean? It kind of gives you a great appreciation for some of the things you don't get as often.
Oh, so. Yes. Yeah. Yesterday's cloudburst, especially on the north end of town, was extremely welcome.
Yes. We could have done without the hail that I know. Actually, we had a couple people driving from Artesia to Roswell yesterday around 1:30, and there was a storm, and it kind of went through between that had some golf ball size hail, and we had a couple people get their vehicles pretty messed up.
Yeah, so. that is the one thing I do have to admit I've never had to deal with is the golf ball size hail.
Yeah,
so that's an interesting bit of Pecos Valley flavor. That
I mean, we can do without that, but bring the water that comes with it.
Right,
so it's not all in one day, please. But anyway, for folks who aren't familiar, Kevin joins us each month here and kind of keeps us up to date on development items, things that are going on through the city. I know last couple months here we've devoted a lot of time to the cannabis ordinance and how that's been tweaked and adjusted here. But it sounds like that's all pretty much done. It's just people going through the process and just doing our thing now, right?
It is. The nice thing about last night in particular is last night was our largest agenda in terms of total number of items. Okay. Now, granted, there were 4 cannabis items last night, but it was the variety of the cannabis items that went through that was really, really interesting. We had one cannabis establishment that required only the zone change and a conditional use permit. Their existing facility up on the north end of town was already in a C2 zone, which is what we're looking for. They were already in a shopping center. There was good separation distance to residential. They fit the ordinance perfectly, which again, one of the big concerns that we've had expressed by the cannabis community is that our ordinance was too tight, or that our ordinance didn't give our folks the flexibility to build open shops. Obviously, completely untrue, and that's one of the things we have noticed. We've gotten a lot of kudos actually on our cannabis ordinance as being one of the best designed cannabis ordinances, and not just from the people here in Roswell, but from people in the cannabis community and people from other jurisdictions. So I've entertained a number of phone calls over the past month from a number of other cities and counties here in the, especially here in southeast New Mexico.
Gotcha.
And they said, "Hey, would you mind if we took a good hard look at your ordinance? We may want to amend ours. So we understand you guys
plagiarize some of yours."
So it's nice to be recognized for those efforts. But like I said, we had 4 different cannabis facilities go through last night. One that fit the ordinance perfectly, 2 others that were close but required a minor variance, but they were existing facilities in operation. We could lean on the fact that they'd been operating.
They're established, kind of grandfather.
Yeah, I'm trying to get people to get away from that term grandfather. Because it's under our ordinance, they become existing non-conforming uses.
Gotcha.
Okay. When you're a non-conforming use, that means that you are allowed to continue to operate as you've always done, okay, which would have limited them to medical only.
Gotcha.
Okay. However, they wanted to all go through the process. They wanted to go get their zone change, get their conditional use permit, do things so that they could expand their facilities and sell not only the medical but the adult use, the recreational adult use cannabis. The last one was an interesting one. It was our first brand new facility. Okay. Now, it was an existing building. They had been a CBD dealership store selling the cannabidiol products, which are available over the counter.
Gotcha.
But they are also a derivative of the cannabis plant. They come from non-THC bearing hemp plants.
Gotcha. So basically what they sold, the non-high making forms of cannabis products.
And it's been there's enough scientific studies out there, of course, because it's derived from industrial hemp as opposed from the THC bearing cannabis. It was something that's available nationwide. There isn't any special permits. You can go to just about any grocery store or other store these days, and of course you can buy it on the internet.
Sure,
it's not. But they were selling that, and they want to do transition to offer the medical cannabis and the recreational as well.
Stuff with the THC.
So they went to the state, they got their appropriate permit, and they were just going through the process. And so last night we heard from them. They were approved as well. So it's like I say, every company that has come through and gone through the process, turned in all the paperwork that they needed to, taken the time to go through the applications and everything, has eventually been approved.
Okay.
So I believe we have one more cannabis facility lined up for next month. And then after that, I'm assuming we're just going to kind of go into a holding pattern with the industry to see how things shake out.
Sure.
But of course, that's up to them. It truly is a growth industry. So, we're expecting additional applications and things to loosen up, but the initial rush to get in seems to be calming down just a little bit.
So for the groups, the 4 you saw last night, once they get past this portion and get approved and greenlit for there, then do they go to before the city council at that point?
They will go before. All 4 of them will be at the city council meeting in June.
In June,
which I believe is June 12th.
Okay,
I think that sounds
whatever
about right.
The
second Thursday in June is. They'll all go before the city council. That will be the final review and approval process. There was a couple of the cannabis companies that wanted some minor changes to their conditions of approval. They'll bring forward those requests for those minor adjustments. It's typically in hours of operation and things like that. They would like to match their existing hours of operation. What we're trying to do at the city, though, is create a level playing field for this new industry. And that's something that I think I explained last month. The reason we decided to use the floating zone rather than designate specific areas of the city, the reason that we decided to establish hours of operation, including, at least at this point, no Sunday hours as well. The reason there's certain places in the city that are off limits because of, it's traditionally the downtown areas, your historic areas, your sports fields and things like that. There is just a conflict, let's just put it that way, between family-oriented type of events and certain other businesses and things and the cannabis industry. Again, that doesn't stop people from growing their own in their home and and enjoying to their heart's content. But there have been some very difficult conflicts, especially when you're dealing with sports and children. People want to light up out in the park and enjoy a smoke. That doesn't necessarily mix well with children who are out there playing soccer and baseball and football and things like that.
Well, and this is the thing we all must remember is we are one community. We all live here. We all enjoy freedoms. The freedoms you enjoy, other people get to enjoy them. But how do we do it so we all get to enjoy that? Right. It's a little bit of compromise, a little bit of here. Grant, we went from something that was completely illegal a year ago is now legal, but we understand there's dangers, there's pitfalls to cannabis, just like there is alcohol and anything else. And some families don't. So what I mean is, this is a compromise. Okay, you can't smoke your joint in the park. Sorry, go home and do it. But you know what? You can do it. You have the right to do it. But you know what? Those same people have the right to be able to play in the park with their kids and not worry about potheads smoking joints in the corner while they're trying to do youth volleyball or soccer or whatever it is out there. You know what I mean? And this is called the compromise, and we need to be adults about this and say, you know what? It's a time and place for this and a time and place for this. You wouldn't go into your kid's classroom drinking a beer, would you? No one. I think most people would probably frown upon that.
Most people would.
This is kind of in that same ballpark. It's like, read the room, man. You know what I mean? And if we can all read the room a little bit, I think we could understand this.
Well, and that is one of the things that we worked very hard between June of last year and January of this year, putting together this very comprehensive ordinance. And I've had a couple of people ask me if there's such concerns over public health, over public safety, over a lot of other things, where are those representatives? Why aren't they here?
Sure.
Well, because we've already met with them and we built those protections into the ordinance.
There's reasons why these are part of the ordinance.
And as long as we follow the ordinance, there's no reason for them to be here representing their concerns.
Their concerns
We've
are
already
heard.
gone over that. They've already submitted all their information. Because that's we have spent a lot of time defending the time, place, and manner rules. Okay. What we haven't spent nearly as much time talking about to a lot of people is health, safety, and welfare requirements as well, which is truly the mission of any municipal organization, is to protect public health, safety, and welfare.
Sure.
That's the reason we exist, is to provide that organization. So, when we get people with a more libertarian philosophy of life, they sometimes need to be reminded that my individual liberty ends where yours begins.
Yeah.
Okay. And the right to breathe clean, fresh, non-THC bearing air is something. And of course, growing up during the 1970s and in California, I am very, very well aware of the fact that when I went to certain parties, I didn't need to bring any of my own. All I had to do was walk through the room and breathe deeply.
Yeah. Well, and let's face it, THC and alcohol, these are mind-altering substances.
Yes.
They are going to affect things like decision-making. So when you're out in public consuming said things, and then you start, getting your intuitions and the things that normally make you act like a mature individual in a room, sometimes those things go down a little bit when you're out there, and then you start doing and saying things that are inappropriate. So
your inhibitions get lowered.
So, yes, we don't want you acting like a fool in the park while kids are trying to have a good time. That's what we're. That's that's the point we're making. And you know what? God bless you. You want to have. You're American. You want to go home and have a beer, go home and smoke a joint. God bless you. It's your life. You do do you, but. You got to remember, we all live on the same planet, and we all need to work with each other. And somebody's family may find that very offensive, what you're doing. So don't do it in a place where a bunch of kids hang out. Just be smart about it, and that way you don't have to worry about fighting every battle. You know what I mean?
And those are battles you really don't want to fight because you tend to lose anyway.
Yeah.
So it's better if we all just respect each other's health and safety, the right to breathe clean air, or the right to get high.
Yeah, exactly.
Either way, and that's built into our ordinance. Our ordinance with respect to personal consumption makes basically one statement, and that is for adults 21 and over in your home. Okay, it is the I don't like to use the term legal because the product is not necessarily legal. It's been decriminalized.
Yeah.
For home consumption, for personal consumption, for personal cultivation, you can have up to 6 plants per person, up to 12 plants maximum per household, and you can transport, you can carry, you can do. But fair warning, and if you talk to have a meeting with Chief Smith of the Roswell Police Department, every single one of our officers right now that patrol our streets are being trained to recognize people that are driving high.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not something you want to be doing. Okay?
No, you will get caught. And to be honest, I imagine technology is going to change where they'll probably have something chemical that they can do. Like with alcohol, they can do a breathalyzer and everything. Marijuana, those things don't work. They don't, because marijuana stays in your system for 30. So you could have smoked it 30 days ago, shows them your system, and you're sober as a judge. So you're not driving under the influence there. So that isn't a value test to them. They've got to do other things to determine whether you're impaired or not. But I imagine at some point they'll come up with some kind of scientific thing that they can tell whether you're high at now or just you smoked weed a month ago.
Well, the other thing that we have to be careful of, and we haven't talked about this a lot, of course, is the federal government.
It's still illegal.
They still take a very dim view of the cannabis use, and we have a wonderful facility to the south,
yes,
governed by the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation Safety Administration, and a bunch of other folks that still again take a very dim view of cannabis use. So it's again just people need to be careful about.
Be warned.
Not just about whether they use it themselves, but whether they're around other people who are using simultaneously.
Even possession.
Yeah.
Like I've heard stories of keep going farther south to another federal facility that in our FLETC, where the law enforcement training center. I've heard stories where people, where marijuana is legal, they have a dime bag or whatever, a couple of edibles, whatever they got in their car, and they go through the gate, and it's there. Guess what? You're now committing a federal crime because you just have possession of marijuana while getting on a federal property. And those people got arrested for that. And you know what? Weed's legal, but like Kevin's saying, it's not legal in all circles here. So if you're down at the airport or you're doing in any federal facility with this stuff, you're going to be prosecuted, and you're going to have a bad day.
Yeah. The other, and we need to remember that we have sister states, where it is not legal. And I've heard some of the people in the cannabis industry say, "Well, we're looking at the windfall of revenue from neighboring states." Well, guess where all of our cannabis sniffing dogs now that were in New Mexico, but we had to either retire them or sell them to other jurisdictions because and I'll probably tell this story incorrectly, but again, another one coming from Chief Smith. He was telling us that any of the dogs that were trained out as drug sniffing dogs, if they also hit on cannabis, those dogs had to be retired because they would be sniffing for other drugs other than cannabis, but they'd hit on cannabis. So it didn't take the bad guys long to know that if they were transporting something that they shouldn't be transporting, you just put some cannabis around it.
Instead of trying to mask it
the
with all
dogs
those other
hit on
stuff.
the cannabis. That's the end of your search. So all of these dogs right now, if they were not retired, they were given to the state of Texas.
Gotcha.
Guess where you find those dogs now?
Sitting on the border communities
along the border between New Mexico and Oklahoma and Texas. And so I would caution anyone who is thinking of coming over here from Texas, purchasing here, and then transporting back across state lines.
You might.
That is still a crime.
Yes. And if you get caught, and be forewarned, when you go on your vacations this summer and you drive over to Texas and Arizona, leave your cannabis here in New Mexico, you bring it with you, you're going to get arrested if you get caught.
Right.
It's just part of the deal.
I had a funny. Do we have time for a funny story? Again,
Yeah.
early in my career with cannabis, I was working still as a private consultant. So I was representing a number of cannabis companies who were building new facilities on the east side of California, right up near the Colorado River and the Arizona border. Well, one of the companies that I was working with at the time, they had, and this was right before the legislation that California had passed was going into effect to allow for recreational cannabis. So everybody was gearing up with all their buildings and their designs and everything else. But the gentleman I was working for wanted me to come over to Arizona and tour one of their facilities to see how nice it was. And so I went right over the river, over to Arizona, and toured this facility, and it was gorgeous, very high tech, very well done, and took me into the flowering room. Now, if you've never been in a flowering room of a cannabis facility,
Can't say that I have.
Oh yeah, well, cannabis flower and the pollen and the stuff that it puts off in a flowering room, and you're in a very enclosed environment, very secure environment, but the stuff is just sticky like glue. So you walk through this and it sticks to you everywhere. Every open, exposed piece of skin, all your clothing and everything else. You go out of the room and you smell like cannabis.
Gotcha.
Okay. As I'm walking out of the room and I'm getting in and I realize I've got this stuff all over my face and my hands and everything else. So I wash my face, I wash my hands, and then I realize it's in my hair, it's all over my clothes. And I'm in Arizona and they haven't approved cannabis, and I've got to go back through a Border Patrol checkpoint.
And you smell like a dispensary.
And I smell like a flowering room. I smell like a cultivation facility. Okay. So thankfully my knowledge of back roads kicked in, and I was able to avoid any conflict, to get back to my hotel room in California, to take off all my clothes and take a shower and go back to work with clean clothes and a cleaned out. But again, those are the kind of things that you have to think about when you're dealing with the cannabis industry. I was reading some other material. You know, it's not. I think we are just right now approaching like half of the states in the United States have some form of cannabis legislation which legalizes either medical or adult use or both. So you do have to be a bit careful if you're going to be in that industry. And every state has different laws. Every community applies those laws in a different way, and so it's a tough industry to be in, but it's just as tough to be a consumer.
Sure. Well, we were talking about this, I think, last month or month before, where you kind of where it really is going to get interesting when and if the feds do legalize it, because right now you have a bunch of companies nationally, but they're all kind of limited to their states on as far as distribution and things, because once you bring it across the state line, then you start getting into federal law territory.
Right. Well, and that's the only way that at this point the industry has maintained its legal status, is they are avoiding interstate commerce laws. So the law, it must be grown here, it must be cultivated here, it must be processed, it must be manufactured. If you're turning it into some kind of it's got to be tested for efficacy, and it's got to be sold and consumed here. Okay, the minute you cross state lines, you're talking about violations of federal law. So it's that's why the industry is struggling. So if the federal government does decriminalize cannabis consumption, it is going to open up a lot of opportunities, but it's also going to create more problems, especially for some of the states that are in their early stages of development. Once you cross state lines, once they're allowed to cross state lines, there will be a flood of cannabis coming from the more mature coastal states.
I think at some point we're going to start seeing like your Coca-Colas and McDonald's of marijuana once that happens. Kind of. Because once they can do that, then there's going to be national, and then kind of like with whiskey and everything else, your Jack Daniels, these are all distributed because they're known across the world. I think once feds do that, next thing you know, we're going to start seeing like national brand products that are synonymous with cannabis?
It's already happening.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. But I think
in fact, the largest investors right now into the cannabis industry is the tobacco industry.
Gotcha.
The tobacco industry.
Well, they see the writing on the wall. They're
do.
probably losing business on one end, and they're saying, "Here's our new revenue stream."
So that's going to, and then of course, depending on the type of cannabis and the type of product, you've got your large pharmaceutical companies that are right now investing into the research and the development for new drugs and other things that will come from the higher end, more efficacious versions of the cannabis. So we're already seeing the large corporations move in tentatively, at least in the investment end and the R&D end, if it's legalized nationwide. And the research and development has already begun showing results, especially with certain THC compounds. I believe we have a couple of new drugs now to treat childhood epilepsy. The anecdotal evidence, of course, of the ability to deal with cataracts and glaucoma. The cancer treatments has been not treating the cancer itself, but reducing the effects of the cancer treatment, the nausea and lack of appetite and things that go along with that. Those are all well documented. And there's no doubt they will continue to look at those things, probably go through the FDA process, and we will see full-on pharmaceutical-grade cannabis-derived products at some point in the very near future.
Interesting. Yeah, it's kind of marijuana is literally like the .com boom of the 90s here, and because now everyone's getting in, but it's going to be one of those things where at some point the bottom's going to fall out or something's going to, and then the ones that did it smart are going to survive and be Fortune 500s. The others are going to go by the wayside,
and just like every other industry in the world. In fact, the gentleman that I was talking to out in the lobby that runs the local
Oasis
Computer Shop. It was telling me that at one point there were a couple of dozen computer stores here in town that sold and serviced and everything else. But there's obviously been massive consolidation in that particular industry, and the days of the little mom and pop shop are pretty much over.
Yeah, it's tough out there. So we got a couple more minutes. Is there anything from the meeting last night that wasn't cannabis related? We want to get the word out about it.
A couple of different things. Couple of different things related to again housing. We had two more new subdivisions, units of a subdivision come in. So the final plats on about 110 more homes were approved last night.
Good.
And then we did have a small, I believe it was a conversion of an older church building that they were looking to do a event center or an event hall. That was also went through. So that was nice. So kind of these little details. The thing that was driving a lot of the discussion and what I want to get out because of the residential concern, the weather over the past few days. I want to let everybody know we've received all the phone calls and then some. The dust, the blowing sand, the debris, and of course, what I would like to remind everyone is to just be a little bit patient and a little bit understanding. We know that it's tough, but we have truly a perfect storm of events that we're trying to deal with right now. We have the extended drought that we've been dealing with. We have the springtime winds and the weather. And then for the first time in 40 or 50 years, we actually have significant construction and growth activity around town.
Yeah.
So we have those three things. And I know that everybody wants to know, well, why aren't they getting out there? Why aren't they watering? Why aren't they doing everything? We also have concerns over our water table. We cannot just arbitrarily be getting out there and throwing. So I am meeting with our largest contractors. We are looking into what can be done. It may be a situation where we tighten up the scheduling. The most of the dust and things coming off of construction sites. We have to remind everyone that, number one, it's temporary because once the site gets built, there's no more dust.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other thing is that the problems with wind and the storms is intermittent as well. So we don't want to create a very expensive permanent solution to a temporary and intermittent problem.
Makes sense.
Because right now with the interest rates going up and the cost of doing business going up, adding another layer of significantly expensive but temporary type of cost is just going to continue to drive those houses up. I was meeting with one of our builders the other day, and they said just the interest rate hikes that we've seen since the first of the year means you can qualify now for 70% of the house you could have at the beginning of the year.
Wow.
Last time I looked, interest was over 6%. Okay. A year ago, January, when I arrived here, I bought my new house at 2.9.
Yeah. Yeah, I refinanced mine about a year ago, and I'm around that 3% area too. And I'm very thankful at the moment.
Right. I'm very thankful. My wife is brilliant. She
I know
says,
exactly
honey,
what you're talking about.
She goes, honey, go to the credit union, get a 20-year fixed rate loan, and we'll make it work. We'll make it work.
Yeah.
And I did. And right now I go home every day and thank her for her wisdom.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty. But good news is, what you got is now worth a whole lot more than what you paid for it a year or two ago. You know,
as long as the market stays strong.
Exactly.
That is one of the unfortunate lessons that I have learned over the course of my career, is that much like any other investment, there's no guarantee with housing that it's going to go up in value.
Good news is you're a little bit more stable in real estate than other
a little bit
investment ventures,
especially if you plan on living there for a while.
Sure,
you know.
But like anything else, it's do your homework. You know you can buy it's a lot harder to buy a lemon in real estate, but you can still buy them.
But anyway, what I would ask the folks who are listening to do. I don't know when our next storm is coming in. I'm assuming the weather cycle is going to continue through June before we, with the wind and the weather changes and everything else. But call our office.
Yeah.
Okay. I know that the first thing everybody wants to do is complain to their city council person. The city council person will listen to your concerns
and then call you.
They typically call the city manager.
Okay.
And then the city manager or the deputy city manager calls me or calls our building official or calls and we're the ones that actually or calls code enforcement, and we're the ones that actually get it done.
Gotcha.
My phone number, as we tell everybody every month, is on the city's website, the community development department.
Yeah.
If you call me directly, even if it's on the weekend, it'll send me an email, then letting me know that I need to listen to something.
Okay.
And we'll be able to identify it and take action quicker, rather than having to go through the telephone chain.
Sure. I know it feels good to talk to the top official.
It does.
But sometimes the top official's got bigger fish to fry and doesn't want to handle your problem right now.
Well, they number one, they are very busy, and number two, the end result of that, while it does make you feel better, yes. I mean, I have to admit, I enjoy the fact that I can talk to my mayor and my ward representatives and things as part of my job. But the fact is, because the population is so small, not just here in Roswell, but statewide, you can pretty much get a hold of your elected officials pretty easily. The question is whether or not they're the ones you need to talk to, especially if there's something occurring right now.
Sure, yeah.
It's like, do you call the mayor or do you call 911 when you're having a heart attack? You know,
well, I mean, it's just like a congressman. He's like, you talk to the congress is going to call a hearing.
Right.
You call the guy with the wrenches, they're going to go and fix it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we're talking about here.
That's true. And so, again, I invite everyone, if you, my direct line to my office is 575-500-0389. Okay? And, of course, community development includes our code enforcement department. It's the building inspections department. We have also business license and real estate as well.
Okay.
But if the phone call comes directly to me, I will make sure somebody is on top of it. If it's during the week, during normal business hours, I do my best to return all phone calls and emails by the end of the day. So
perfect.
Please do not be afraid to reach out to our office.
Absolutely. And like you said, with code enforcement stuff, I know you talk about weeds and all those kind of things.
Right.
And I know we all need to do our part. I know it's drying out there, but actually keeping the weeds down is good for not just beautification, but in these dry times, safety too.
Well, and that's the other thing. If you go to the city's website, and right on the homepage, there's a document called a Fix It form.
Yes.
Okay. So for weeds and other things, you click on that, you fill out that form, you send it in. It is automatically distributed to multiple departments depending on on the complaint and the concern. We had one come through a week or so ago, and it was actually ended up being a welfare check on an elderly woman. And there was cats, so and other things going on. So we ended up that particular one ended up going to I think every department in the city had
all hands on deck.
It really was an all hands on deck kind of thing. And when we went in there, we were glad we did, because we've even our building department, we found problems with the plumbing, we found problems with other things that are now being taken care of. Animal control had to deal with some of the situations out there. Code enforcement, there was other things. It really was a situation, and of course, the elderly woman that was living there needed some help too.
Yeah.
So
this is all for health and safety. It's not just to make your neighbors mad. It really isn't.
We do our best to try not to upset people. We understand that people are, if they're filling out a fix-it. Most people aren't when they fill out those forms, they aren't being vindictive.
Yeah,
they are saying, "Hey, we've got a problem here that needs to be addressed."
They live in that community, and it bothers them, and that's their right.
And so we have to go in with the idea this is a problem that needs to be fixed. There's an issue here that it must be investigated, and many times investigated with a great deal of care.
Absolutely, yeah, and then trying to get it right. Rather than fast, sometimes that's the better approach. Sometimes,
in fact, it's actually the better approach most of the time.
Most of the time, it is.
There's always people always. Well, when are you going to get out here? When are you going to get out here? I've had people say and I've had to ask them. I said, "Do you want it done? The situation corrected right? Or do you want it corrected right now? Because there's two very different approaches,
and one may not make you happy."
Yes,
very good. Well, Kevin, as always, appreciate the visit. Is there anything else we missed? Now that I think about it, real quick. Is there anything we get at all?
Oh, there's 100 things we could talk about. Maybe we just start doing a preview of coming attractions for next month.
There you go. There you go. But appreciate the talk and information as always, and we look forward to next month, and hopefully we're. New businesses. We got bigger, more exciting things to talk about.
I hope so. That's the whole point of what we do.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. We'll see you next time.
All right, Mike. Thank you.
All right, 7:56. Let's do your Chaves County sports update and a quick break before news. Don't go away.
Hey, New Mexico. Experiencing issues keeping your office technology up to date with these crazy supply chain issues? Well, DSI is here to help. We've diversified our products and solutions to help your business not just survive, but thrive in any situation. Have your teams collaborate and share with high-def video walls and interactive smart panels. With free unlimited support, the fear of any new technology is a thing of the past. Contact DSI today to upgrade your workspace. www.dsinm.com.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. Well, you're familiar with regular football, 11 players aside. How about in New Mexico? You've got, for small schools, you've got 8-man football and 6-man football, 7-on-7 summer camps. Well, how about 4-on-4? There's going to be a 4-on-4 flag football tournament this weekend at Cielo Grande. And the folks that are organizing this, chiefly NFL veteran David Macklin, they're hoping that this turns into an annual thing. It's kind of been a last-minute addition, but if you've got a kid that wants to play some flag football, there's 6 divisions coming up this weekend at Cielo Grande, 8 and under, 10 and under, 12 and under, 15 and under, 16 and 17-year-olds, and 18 and over. To register, go to glorydays4on4.com/register. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
J Block for governor. J Block, conservative, veteran, leader. J Block is the only choice to stand up and defeat Michelle Lujan Grisham. Mr. Block is a veteran of combat, serving in Afghanistan, a nuclear commander, and winner of the New Mexico State Republican Convention. As an America First conservative, Mr. Block has turned blue seats red and has never lost a race. Mr. Block will end the madness in Santa Fe once and for all. He's not a weatherman. He's not a rhino. J Block is a conservative, veteran, and a leader. Vote June 7th in the Republican primary.
Paid for by Friends for J Block.
From the mountains to the lakes and even the beaches, America is calling, and the best way for your family to see it is in an updated vehicle from your friends at the Tailgate Nation. Roswell Ford has southeastern New Mexico's largest inventory of really nice pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. These are vehicles you can count on to carry your family safely and comfortably from sea to shining sea. All have survived a rigorous 139-point inspection, and Roswell Ford gives you a 3-day money-back guarantee. So if you find something you don't like, you can just bring it back. Roswell Ford is always looking for gently used cars and trucks. If you have one you want to sell, we'll make you a cash offer on the spot, and we'll give you a week to think about it. So get your motor running and head on out to the highway. Vacation season is here, and your friends at the Tailgate Nation have the vehicle you need to see the sights and do it right. Your new vacation vehicle is waiting for you now at Roswell Ford at the corner of 9th and Main.
There's a whole universe out there. Come explore at the International UFO Museum and Research Center, featuring engaging exhibits and in-depth first-hand accounts of the incident that put Roswell on the map. The research library features the most comprehensive collection of UFO research materials in the world, and you can get exclusive one-of-a-kind gifts and merch from the gift shop or online at RoswellUFOmuseum.com. Don't forget about the UFO Festival, July 1st through 3rd, celebrating the 75th anniversary of the Roswell incident. The International UFO Museum and Research Center. It's otherworldly.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. They will forever be children. 19 youngsters shot and killed in an attack at Robb Elementary School, Uvalde, Texas. Small town about 85 miles west of San Antonio.
My heart was broken today. We're a small community, and we'll need your prayers to get us through this.
The local school superintendent heard on KSAT that second deadliest school shooting in U.S. history, also claimed the lives of 2 adults. They were teachers. Police say the 18-year-old gunman killed his grandmother before heading to the school, which was nearby. He was fatally shot by law enforcement. President Biden with a call to action.
I am sick and tired of it. We have to act. And don't tell me we can't have an impact on this carnage.
The president calling for new gun control laws. Republican Senator Tom Tillis, North Carolina, not ruling it out.
I'm happy to look at anything as long as it doesn't deny anybody rights for law-abiding citizens. I've been there all along, and I've been willing to have those discussions. We'll continue to.
The deadliest school shooting in the U.S. since a gunman killed 20 children and 6 adults at Sandy Hook Elementary, Newtown, Connecticut, in late 2012. A Trump-endorsed candidate emerging victorious in the Arkansas GOP gubernatorial primary.
Former White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders won the Republican nomination for Arkansas governor after a campaign where she focused primarily on national issues in criticizing President Biden. Sanders was endorsed by her old boss, former President Trump, and shattered fundraising records since entering the race last year.
Correspondent Bernie Bennett. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp easily beating former Senator David Perdue in the Republican primary in Georgia. Wall Street, the Dow is up 6 points, NASDAQ 16 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Are you unhappy with your Medicare supplement plan? Are you paying too much for doctors or drugs? Did you know that you don't need to wait for the annual enrollment period to switch plans? You heard me right. With Chapter, you can apply to switch your Medicare supplement plan whenever you want. Chapter is a free service that helps you make sure you are on the right Medicare plan for your needs. Chapter searches thousands of options to find the plan that best suits your specific healthcare needs and could save you thousands of dollars each year. Because healthcare should be your choice, not a bureaucrat's decision. Whether you're already enrolled in a Medicare supplement plan or you're new to Medicare, call Chapter and make sure your choice is the right choice. It could be the last call you ever need to maximize your Medicare benefits. The service is free, so call today. Call 800-611-9422. 800-611-9422. 800-611-9422.
Australia watching anxiously as China's top diplomat embarks on a 2-week tour of the Pacific region. The BBC's Phil Mercer in Sydney.
China's foreign minister will travel to 8 countries, including Fiji and Papua New Guinea. Australia is watching with trepidation. The Pacific has traditionally been its sphere of influence. Its relations with China have deteriorated in recent years over various geopolitical disputes. But Beijing has congratulated the new Labour government in Canberra, a sign perhaps that bilateral ties could be reset.
Delegations from Sweden and Finland scheduled to hold talks in Ankara with senior Turkish officials in a bid to overcome Turkey's objections to their historic bids to join the NATO alliance. Sweden and Finland submitted written applications to join NATO last week. Townhall.com. Well, it looks like we're in for a super busy hurricane season again this year.
The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's Atlantic hurricane season forecast calls for 14 to 21 named storms, with 6 to 10 becoming hurricanes and as many as 6 major hurricanes, with winds topping 110 miles per hour. Among the factors, forecasters point to warmer ocean temperatures overall, La Niña, which sees equatorial waters in the Pacific cool, climate change, an active monsoon season in West Africa, and long-term patterns. Each of the last 6 Atlantic hurricane seasons have been above normal, which is a record. I'm Ben Thomas.
19 people have been indicted in a complex money laundering scheme to move millions of dollars in drug proceeds from Colombian cartels through American banks. Once again on Wall Street this hour, the Dow is up 56 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The Javelin, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The
poo. Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Sorry, we had a meme I saw right before I went on air that made me giggle. And I shared it with Sean.
I'm trying to find other examples of that because I've seen... Okay, so what we're talking about is Mike printed off, it was print-worthy, printed off and delivered onto my desk a meme of He-Man saying the following, and I quote...
Oh, quoting.
When you poop, your butthole makes the same motion as your lips when you say poop. Until next time, friends! I've heard that before, and of course, every time you hear that, you have to do the motion with your mouth. You go,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not wrong.
So,
But the thing is...
I'm 7, sorry, folks. That's just what it is. I'm 7.
That's right there with you. That's been a meme for a minute. Like, a lot of the Skeletor and He-Man memes, it's basically like Skeletor or He-Man delivering weird information that you didn't ever know.
That's what got me more. I was like, not even so much the factoid.
Right.
The fact that it was He-Man, and then
and I'm trying to find one because I know I've saved them in the past. I tend to find memes and save them just so I can use them later. I know I've saved a Skeletor meme in the past, but yeah, Skeletor and He-Man, basically these until next time, friends. That meme is like it's a thing.
Yeah,
but it's basically deliver a fact that sounds weird that most people don't know, and then until we meet again.
See, I guess in my world, I would have gone with a more G.I. Joe and gone with and now you know, and knowing's half the battle.
Knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe.
So, you know, I grew up in that generation. Of course, I could even throw the old NBC star, more you know that Conan used to spoof and all that.
You know.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to Google these because I know I've saved some, but I can't seem to find any right now. So I'm going to.
Well, that's how it always works.
Of course. So I'm going to look up Skeletor memes because there's a lot of these. Skeletor and He-Man, but.
Oh, man. So let me give you the rundown while he's looking up Skeletor memes.
When a pregnant woman goes swimming, she's a human submarine. Skeletor will return with more disturbing facts next week.
That's weird. I mean, it's odd, but weird. Yeah, it's odd and weird. Anyway. So, we got a busy hour for you here. Here at about 8:15.
I can't share that one.
Yeah, you don't share some
I gotta
of these.
sift through a lot of these.
Some of these are probably not radio friendly. But but anyway, we do have a busy hour for you. Congresswoman Yvette Herrell's going to be calling here in just a few minutes, about 8:15. I know we're doing E-Man memes, and she's calling.
There's a moment during the cremation process where the meat is perfectly cooked.
Oh, gross.
Until we meet again.
That's just not right. All right. I think I'm spent with these.
If you've ever donated blood, that blood could be flowing through someone's private areas right now.
Oh, man.
Until we meet again. I can keep going.
I'm good. I want to be employed tomorrow. So Congresswoman Yvette Herrell's going to join us here about 8:15. We'll talk with her for a few minutes via the telly. And then we're going to have Kim Dusendorf join us here from Big Brothers Big Sisters in just right about 8:30 or so, right after we conclude talking with Congresswoman Yvette Herrell. So you found another one.
I will leave you with one more.
Okay.
The only part of your reflection you can lick is your tongue. Until we meet again!
You're careful, don't trip.
Yeah, I almost tripped. I have bad hips. I can't really do that move anymore. I was like, oh, God, I'm going to fall. Just roll out.
Yeah, that's why the internet's fun sometimes.
They're basically shower thoughts. Like, you're sitting there. You ever been to the shower thoughts subreddit?
No, but I know. I can think I can gather.
The concept is basically like when you're doing that thing where you're like arm on the shower. You're just like,
yeah,
it's weird. Yeah.
See, like back in the day, it was kind of, we used to call it like Larry King thoughts. You know, like back when he had his USA Today column, and it'd just be stuff in there like, I love fudgesicles. And you're like, okay. Like, all right, whatever. God bless you. Don't need an article about it. All right.
Andy Rooney.
Oh, yeah, Andy Rooney.
Yeah.
Sorry, I dropped my army man. Yeah.
I dropped my army man.
Well, I was holding him.
Oh, no, I get it. I understand.
And I need him back. It is what I do.
In Bern, Switzerland, there's a statue of a man stuffing an infant in his mouth, and no one knows why. The statue, which is called the Child Eater, was constructed 500 years ago in 1546.
And how did that one stay up?
I don't know. How did that one not fall with the great statue gate of 2020?
I'm just saying, yeah. You know, thinking people are like, no, that's wholesome.
Well, it's 500 years. Let's just leave it there.
It's been there
obviously
a long time.
It's there for a reason.
Children eating was very important 500 years ago.
It could very well be why Bern, Switzerland has been experiencing so much bliss. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's like Samson's hair.
Could be.
Yeah, you cut out the child eater statue. You never know what's going to happen.
It's all downhill from there.
That's right. So let's just leave it. You don't want to mess with it.
Maybe. Possible.
The great black cat statue of France.
Dumb and not Dumb and Dumber. Idiocracy's coming sooner than you think.
Boy, is it ever.
Yep.
Until we meet again.
That's right. Careful. It is 12 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather. Enjoy today. Today's going to be awesome. After that, it's getting a little warmer. So depending on your perspective.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have cool high pressure moving into our area today, so our temperatures will stay pretty comfortable. Lots of sunshine across eastern New Mexico. We'll be in the upper 70s to low 80s. Well, the overnight hours clear and we cool off to about 50, and then our daytime highs start going up on Thursday. About 90 for the afternoon high and sunny, right around 100 by Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 55 degrees. He did it to me again, folks. Currently 55 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 57%. Winds are calm at the moment. Nice day today. I love it. Sorry, I was just thinking of Naked Gun. I was swimming in raw sewage. I love it. I said you got to get the reference. Sorry. Sunny today, a high near 80. Winds will be out of the north, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, skies will be clear. Overnight low of 53. East winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, creeps a little warmer. 91. We'll be sunny and 91 tomorrow. So we'll go up about 10, 12 degrees tomorrow. Winds be out of the north, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear skies tomorrow night. Overnight low of 58 with east winds 5 to 10. And then Friday, we're busting through to the century mark. Sunny, hot, high of 100. South winds 5 to 15. Saturday, sunny and breezy with a high of 103. Sunday, sunny, breezy, high of 102. For your Memorial Day, they're talking sunny, breezy, high of 101. All right, it is 8:14. It looks like I got Congresswoman Yvette Harrell on the phone here, so we're going to take a quick 2.5-minute break and then talk with the Congresswoman on the other side here. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
You know, there's something magical about homegrown tomatoes. Watching the plants grow, seeing the blooms pop, and then picking a big, ripe tomato and slicing it up on a sandwich. Hi, this is Jim Gill. Here at Roswell Seed Company, we have some of the prettiest tomato plants that we've ever seen, just waiting for you to make the magic happen. We have some good-looking pepper plants, too, and the geraniums will be coming along soon. So you say tomato, and I'll say tomato. Come and get your plants at Roswell Seed. No, I'm not going to say tomato. Nobody around here says tomato.
A good night's sleep is so important. Did you know that proper sleep supports a healthy heart, decreases chances of weight gain, and boosts a positive mood? Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher with Carabelli Dental. It doesn't matter your age, sleeping issues can make any of us reach for that all-day cup of coffee. If you know you are not sleeping because of severe snoring or sleep apnea, come visit us. We can make you a small oral appliance that will help you sleep better and live better.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell or call 622-4455.
J Block for governor. J Block, conservative, veteran, leader. J Block is the only choice to stand up and defeat Michelle Lujan Grisham. Mr. Block is a veteran of combat, serving in Afghanistan, a nuclear commander, and winner of the New Mexico State Republican Convention. As an America First conservative, Mr. Block has turned blue seats red and has never lost a race. Mr. Block will end the madness in Santa Fe once and for all. He's not a weatherman. He's not a rhino. J Block is a conservative, veteran, and a leader. Vote June 7th in the Republican primary.
Paid for by Friends for J Block.
Sometimes when you hit the road hits back. That's why MTA Mechanics and Tire carries major brands like Bridgestone, Cooper, and Michelin. Not only do you get top brand tires, but you also get a nationwide warranty. So wherever you are, MTA Mechanics and Tire has you covered. Stop by or let MTA come to you with their MTA Mobile Tire Shop, covering Roswell, Carlsbad, and Artesia. They can come to your home, office, or even the airport, and alignment is included on all sets of 4 tires. MTA Mechanics and Tires, getting you back on the road.
You know what happens in the spring. It's cleanup time, and AC&B, HF Sinclair, Navajo Refining, and the Boy Scouts are at it again to help clean up our community. The Scouts will come to your house and haul off items that you need to dispose of and have no way of hauling. The dates for pickup are May 28th, June 4, and June 11. Just call 575-513-0143 and let me know when, where, and what. Take advantage of this free service and let's make Artesia clean and beautiful.
The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. We aren't sure how long Europeans and Asians look for lost stuff. We lost the list. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 17 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us on the phone this morning, we have representing Congressional District 2, we have Congresswoman Yvette Harrell on the phone with us this morning. Good morning, ma'am. How you doing today?
I am doing great. It's so good to be back on with you.
Yeah, and good news is we were just talking during the commercial break here, and you've actually been able to you're back in the district now, so now you've spent some time kind of seeing and dealing with New Mexico issues, not just necessarily, stuff going on in Congress right now.
Right, yeah, it's always nice to be back in New Mexico, and it's been a whirlwind. I've been in TRC, of course, the fire update up there with the Black Fire, and made a trip down to Lordsburg to see folks down there, and Carlsbad, and just, kind of getting all over the district, talking to folks and making sure that we're addressing the needs and keeping them informed, really, as to what's happening in Congress. And we're in recess until I believe, the 6th of June. So it's a good thing, though, because anytime we're not there, we're not passing bad laws. So it's just, we can all breathe easy for a few days here and realize Congress won't be doing anything radical.
That's right.
But it's good to be home for sure.
Good deal. Well, just curiosity, what kind of updates were you getting on the when you're in TRC for the fire? Is it still pretty, or are they starting to get some containment on it now?
Yeah, that fire is just terrific. Of course, I went up Friday evening. They had a big overview. They had the law enforcement, Forest Service, all the firefighters there, the community. And sadly, they said because of the rugged conditions and the wind and some of the elements they're dealing with, they said there's a good chance that particular fire could go until the monsoon season starts.
Oh, wow.
They have in place, I think, a very good responsive, a ready, set, go kind of a platform. So they've announced, they've let all the residents, all the property owners know to be, ready. And then if the sheriff gives them the set signal, that means, start kind of getting your belongings, what you want, what you need. And that way, if it gets to go, meaning the fire line has gotten too close to the properties, then they're kind of ready. So it gives, I think, the property owners a little bit of time to manage. And I just continue to keep praying for the communities and the firefighters and all of those volunteers involved with it. But it's the one thing I did learn is that fire, the black fire, there was some talk that it had also been started by a control burn. But we were told in the meeting the other night it was actually human caused, and it is under investigation. Now, however, the Hermit's Peak fire, the really big one up a little further north, that one was caused by a control burn. And I had talked to the chief of the Forest Service, Chief Moore. We met with him in my office, actually, Thursday morning before I flew out here. And we just were very concerned, gave him, our concerns and how this happens and what are they going to do to correct it. And I believe that they're responsible for the damages caused, the cost of this fire, and I think that they should take full responsibility for it.
Yeah.
And so they're obviously investigating that, is what he told us. But, it just makes no sense, Mike, to see people doing control burns when we have these arid conditions and these high winds that we've seen all over the state. And I was down in Carlsbad yesterday in Artesia, and that wind that came through there, just unbelievable.
Yeah, it does seem to buck against common sense, doesn't it?
Right. But, they check common sense at the door sometimes in these federal agencies for sure.
Sure.
So, and of course, then we're left to pick up the pieces.
I actually heard on the news last night the fire in Lincoln, the Ruidoso, the fire that happened there with all of that. I saw that one was caused by down power lines. And so I think what I saw in the news was there's private citizens now sending lawsuits to the power company because of the down. I know one couple lost their home altogether, and I think that was the particular one they were showing on the news. But I'm guessing you're going to see a lot more of that once some of the aftermath of some of these fires start coming out, and once responsibility is assigned in that, I think we're going to see a lot more of that around the state, not less of it. So,
yeah, that's probably true, and it's just so unfortunate. Just the fire season, obviously, in New Mexico started way earlier than normal, and of course, there just doesn't seem to be any moisture in the forecast. It looks like, I think Roswell got a little bit of rain yesterday, and I sure wish that would have been a little further north, or even up here in Ruidoso. I'm up in Ruidoso right this moment, and it is so dry. Of course, they have water restrictions in place.
Sure.
So it's just, time to buckle down, pray for rain, but certainly keeping everybody in our thoughts and prayers because of just these catastrophic losses all over the place.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely got to... it's about being, just good stewards of the land and everything else. We have to, we live in a desert. We live in a dry community. Much of New Mexico is like that. That's the way it is. And so we have to act accordingly and use science, technology, and be good stewards of it. And that's, we are very, and this is something Roswell's very blessed with the aquifers and all that. Now, don't get me wrong. We can't be, turning on the fire hoses and just let water run freely down the street.
Sure.
But at the same time, we're pretty lucky. We get more water than other communities in this state. But
right.
But that being said, we got to be good stewards with it. We got to do, and so it's And so doing these things like, preventing the fires, fireworks, certainly we're going to be talking fireworks season here. And I got to be honest, I don't think it's a great idea right now to be doing many fireworks in the state of New Mexico in July here, unless something changes between now and then. So
yeah, I'm with you on that. And when I had that meeting with Chief Moore the other day, I clearly and pointed out the obvious, which he already knows, is forest management plays a role in this. And he has actually been in committee meetings saying, we need to get into these national forests and clean up the forest floor and take out this low-grade lumber, timber, the 6-7 inch circumference that's just sucking up the water. We're not doing much to protect our watersheds.
Sure.
And of course, you look at the condition of the Lincoln National Forest and others. And here's what is just so crazy, Mike. This bill, we introduced the biochar bill to do just that. Go in, start cleaning up our forest bed, get that dead lumber off the bottom of the forest floor, and then utilize it in the agricultural industries for biochar, because once it's crunched up and you process, you can actually put it on the crops and it retains water. It's very helpful. Now, this is a kind of a common sense approach to, a win-win-win. It cleans up the forest, it protects watershed, it helps the ag operations, and yet we cannot get movement on that, which makes no sense. And that's why it's just so frustrating, because common sense just does not show itself in Washington, D.C. at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I've talked to some people that are I've had on the show here, and we've had some great conversations about some of these various topics with maintaining our wildlife and these and even talking with some, gubernatorial candidates on their ideas on some of this stuff. And what I'm kind of learning, and I don't know if this is something you're hearing or learning too, it's like, we talk with environmentalists and they say, all right, we want to make these wilderness lands and return them to wilderness and all. That's like wonderful in concept. But what happens is man's already been here. Man has put their footprint in these areas. And at this point, if we just up and leave, we do more harm than good. And so what we need to do is what we're talking about, and what you're saying and what a lot of people are saying is we need that mitigation of thinning the forest when need to, getting that debris, maybe even bringing lumber companies back to New Mexico. And they did the clear cutting and all that, and then they rebuild these forests, and they just, they don't build them right. They just plant a bunch of trees, and now we've got this contributing to fires and stuff too. The way these were redone, so it's almost like maybe the ecological and right way to do it, the green and money way to do it, is keeping man in there, but doing things like bringing in lumber companies to do back to hauling lumber out, but instead of clear cutting, it's more surgical and working with the environment departments to making sure that they're taking the right trees out and leaving the good ones still, and things like, that kind of thing. I think that's kind of the more approach we need to take on this to fix it, rather than no, we just need to pull out and let God take over in there. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and absolutely a proactive approach, especially in these areas that have communities and people living in and around the forest. And here's the thing, though, when you mention the environmentalists and so forth, we do more damage to the environment by letting these fires burn and the emissions, and think about the loss of property, human life, and wildlife. We tear up and let burn all the water. We do things. We have our ranchers putting out waters, for the wildlife and their livestock. And yet when the fire comes through, burns all of that up. So we've really done more damage to the environment than had we gone in and been proactive and smart about protecting our forests and managing them in a smart way. But it again, makes no sense. How can you even justify the amount of emissions going up? Look what we're doing to the atmosphere right now, and they're not saying a word. And it's, we could have maybe prevented some of this in a couple of these different fires had we had better forest management. And you look at Mescalero, we always point to Mescalero, how well they manage their forest. Beautiful. A healthy forest has about 45 to 50 trees per acre. We've got, in some cases, 500. So and then we wonder why we're running out of water, why the Pecos isn't, flowing anymore, why we haven't got the opportunities to capture, and conserve water. It makes no sense. But, again, these are the policies that the environmentalists are pushing, and we are so outnumbered. But I hope one day we'll see common sense prevail, so we can see some real, true, forest management. And in fact, what's very concerning to those in California is the big redwoods. Those sequoia, they only grow in California, and they lost, I think, I'm not exactly sure the percent, but it was, like a 20% of that forest that last summer. I mean, we've got to figure out ways to protect these trees that are just so iconic for our country. But yet we turn the blind eye, and then we don't have the opportunities to do the right thing because the environmentalists have a bigger voice and more money.
Yeah, it's very frustrating, and well, it's one of those things. We all get frustrated, but it's an election year. This is the year that people get to tell our elected officials how they want things to go. So this is why your primary's coming up. Pay very much close attention to people running, and certainly in our general election in November, make sure that you're doing your research and choosing people that really line up with the things that you believe in. And when we talk about these kind of things, remember that, and remember. Because this is, I know you and I have had this conversation. We all want the best for our community. We just don't. We just don't agree on how to do that. And you got to really pay attention. And the devil's in the details on listening to what each of these folks are saying and saying we need to do it this way. And if it sounds like just a placated answer versus something that's a legitimate idea here, then you need to vote accordingly about that kind of stuff. So.
Right. I would say listen to what they say, see what they've done. Proof is in the pudding, and find out what the game plan is moving forward, because it's easy to say we need to do this or that. But, how do we get there? Well, let's introduce a piece of legislation. Let's push back on some of these environmental policies. Let's ensure that we have more localized control in terms of forest management. Maybe set up a memorandum of understanding between counties and a Forest Service, something. But we've got to get some plans in play so that we can protect our natural resources for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I only got a couple more minutes with you here, but is there any other stuff that you're seeing right now? I know you guys aren't in session. I'm sure, obviously, the tragedy in Texas yesterday, that's impacting a lot of people's lives this morning. I'm sure. Have you guys heard? I know that you're not in session, but is there any other details you guys are hearing on the Congress side that we're sharing, or any information?
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. Honestly, really made me just sick yesterday to hear what happened, and absolutely with that gun violence yesterday, and obviously what happened in New York. Just a few weeks ago, you can bet that Congress is going to be gearing up to do some type of very hardcore overreach gun control.
Yeah.
And here's the deal. I'm all for working across the aisle. If we're looking at the broader picture, how about mental health institutions? How about behavioral health? How about providing the funds necessary to help people that actually need that? I will not support anything that infringes on our Second Amendment right.
Mm-hmm.
We are not going to punish law-abiding citizens. I mean, it would be like eliminating the auto industry because there have been car crashes that have ended up in fatality.
Mm-hmm.
It's just typical. This will probably be, unfortunately, instead of being there for the families and really being proactive in thinking how we can help a community, it will probably be a knee-jerk reaction in Congress to come for the guns, and that's not the answer.
Nope.
There's not a law on the books. There's not one we could pass that would keep somebody with an evil heart from doing exactly what happened, but I think we could do better when it comes to providing behavioral health, when we can provide services in that arena. I think that's somewhere we just don't talk about that enough, and there's a definite need for it. So we'll definitely be hearing, I think, more and more about that. And I just hope they don't politicize this and use it as a campaign tool, because that would be so disrespectful to the families and to the community.
Well, unfortunately, until we learn this lesson, yesterday's tragedy was not a gun problem. It was a mental health problem. And until we address it as such, we're going to continue to have these problems. As long as you keep treating gun problems or calling mental health problems gun problems, we're going to continue to have these problems. We've got, this isn't about Democrat, Republican. This is just the truth. We certainly need to address mental health. We need to throw. We need to blow it up like Susan G. Komen breast cancer. That's what I keep saying. Right. And get the pink ribbons and the whole nine and throw gazillions of dollars at mental health. That's how we solve these problems, not limiting on how many AK-47s you can own. That's not
right.
going to fix it.
And there's no way to monitor this. And here's the thing. Instead of spending millions and millions of dollars and tearing down hotels in Alaska or building golf courses or gazebos, why aren't we investing that money in the communities around the country to provide these behavioral health centers or mental health centers? That's what we've missed the mark. But always they go back to punishing the law-abiding gun owner. And I think we have to have an absolute transparent and honest conversation with ourselves. And so we need to be thoughtful and prayerful for the families that have lost their lives, but we cannot just do a knee-jerk reaction. And certainly, in fact, on the committee I'm sitting on right now, just jumped off for this call, there is someone making a committee speech about the violence yesterday. And so I can assure you that will be at the top of everyone's list when they go back to Washington in a couple of weeks.
Yep, absolutely. Well, we'll let you get back to your meeting. I'm sure you can't wait to get back in.
Right. Well, I just appreciate the time, and it's always a pleasure to visit with you and just kind of talk about things that are happening in the district. I know people are interested, and we'll just kind of keep monitoring these fires and see what happens. But I'll certainly be back on with you sooner than later, I'm sure, and I obviously always appreciate the opportunity.
Well, thank you, ma'am. We do. We look forward and love talking with you about this stuff, and we appreciate all you're doing to represent the people in our district here. We do appreciate it.
You're just welcome. All right. Well, you have a blessed day, and I will talk to you soon.
You do the same. Don't work too hard.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. All right, that was Congresswoman Yvette Harrell joining us here. She's actually in district right now as Congress not in session. She's working on virtually and doing a lot of New Mexico issues there. So big thank you to her for visiting with us this morning. All right, let's pause real quick for some news and your town hall business update. So we'll be back in 2 minutes. Kim's going to join us from Big Brothers Big Sisters on the other side. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Thanks for joining us. The severe weather causing Tuesday night concerns, but so far, good news is we've heard of no significant damage from any of these storms from Tuesday. The FBI is warning that sextortion schemes are on the rise in New Mexico, especially the southern portion of the state. So far this year, the FBI is reporting 107 cases involving allegations of an individual convincing another person, usually a teenager, to engage in explicit activity over social media applications. The Eddy County Patriotic Association is hosting a Memorial Day parade and ceremony on Monday. The parade lineup will begin at 8 a.m. at the Carlsbad Municipal Schools Administration Building at 408 North Canyon. The parade will then head down Canyon toward the Carlsbad Veterans Memorial Park. A short ceremony will take place at the park. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Stellantis and Samsung plan to build an electric vehicle battery factory in Kokomo, Indiana. The plans are to employ 1,400 workers and become the company's second such factory in North America. The venture announced Tuesday plans to spend more than $2.5 billion on the plant that will supply electric battery modules for a range of vehicles produced at Stellantis North American assembly plants. Ford Motor Company on Tuesday settled claims by 40 U.S. state attorneys general that the company made misleading claims about the fuel economy and payload capacity of some of its vehicles, violating state consumer protection laws. The company agreed to pay $19.2 million to the states and refrained from making misleading advertising claims as part of the settlement filed in San Diego Superior Court in California. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. We aren't sure how long Europeans and Asians look for lost stuff. We lost the list. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 8:38, and joining us in studio this morning from Big Brothers Big Sisters of Southeast New Mexico, Kim Desendorf back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I am doing wonderful. I'm enjoying this cool weather.
Good deal. Well, thank you for hanging out a few minutes here while Congresswoman joined us on the radio here. We do appreciate that.
No problem.
Good news is if you're looking for a thing to get involved in this community that can make a huge difference with really not a whole lot of time on your part, well, then you want to listen to our next 15, 20 minutes here because Kim can give you lots of opportunities through Big Brothers and Big Sisters to impact the lives of children and things like that. It's really one of the, I mean, it really is. It's just you hanging out with a kid for an hour and having fun, doing stuff, going to see movies or going to the park or maybe it's doing homework together or going to have lunch or whatever. That's just you incorporating a child into your life and being a bit of a mentor and giving that kid an opportunity to do things that child wouldn't maybe get the chance to do. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So,
we all need mentors. Like everybody needs somebody to be their cheerleader.
Now more than ever.
Yes, absolutely. And so, that this is a great opportunity to do that, to do that for a kid.
Absolutely. Yeah. So please, if you're thinking and looking like the summer months here and some people are, going to get a little more time on their hands now with kids out of school or, vacations and people taking a little downtime and stuff like that. Maybe this is a time to get thinking, say, hey, what can we do to make a better or bigger impact in our community? And volunteering is a great way. And I say Big Brothers Big Sisters is one of those organizations that can really help you do that. So.
Yeah. Well, and some of the kids that we serve are, when school is out, they're not as connected, and so summer can be a little rough for them.
So they kind of need that extra little person, or extra thing in their lives, or extra person in their lives to kind of to navigate some of that stuff. Yep. And that's really what it's about. And I'll tell you this, even before COVID, there's a list of littles waiting for a match with a big, and it's not their fault at all. But at the same time, it's a little torturous I'm guessing, for kids, especially if they've been waiting a year or so to find a match. I don't care who you are on the planet. After a while, that's going to mentally mess with you a little bit. Like maybe it's me. It's not. Maybe it's me.
Discouraging.
And it's not. It's just the fact that we just don't have enough volunteers to step forward and say, I want to mentor a child. Right. So even for you just to come up and step up, we have kids that are ready and just can't wait to meet you and are ready to go and do some fun stuff.
Yeah. And we definitely need lots of people to sign up because, we have, I think, 34 kids on our waiting list right now. And even if we had 34 volunteers,
that doesn't mean there's enough.
Yeah. Right. That doesn't mean because, we want to match people with a little based on shared interests and personality and all these things.
That would be like hitting the lottery 34 times in a row if you got 34 people sign up and all 34 match perfectly with the 34 children that are needed.
Yeah. So we need a big pool to draw from.
Yeah.
Yep.
And ideally, we would love to say, you know what, we don't have enough bigs ready for you, but give us a couple weeks or month, and we'll, you know what I mean? Where it's the opposite, where we got bigs waiting on littles. That would be the better problem to have.
That would absolutely be better. Yes.
But in the meantime, that's the way we can solve that problem. Is please come learn more about what it takes to be a big, and we've had a ton of these conversations. But A, you don't have to be a superhero. B, you don't have to really go out of your way a whole lot to incorporate this into your life. That's the part we want to stress. It's not like, oh, I'm a mentor. I'm going to mentor this child now. I gotta up my game here and plan these grandiose adventures and opportunities. And no, that's not every week or every. I mean, sure, once in a while, I'll be like, all right, special weekend, we're going to go do a big road trip, whatever it is. Once in a while, great, but that's not the point of Big Brothers and Big Sisters. It's really incorporating this little into your life, and you get to go, whether you got to go run errands. Hey, it's a weekend. I got to go take the dog for a walk. I got to go and get the car washed. I got to go do a couple things. Hey, let me see if my little wants to come and hang out with us while we go to the park and maybe go get something to eat and then go get the car washed or whatever. Yeah. That's big brothers, big sisters. Mm-hmm. That's all there is. It's not, today we're going to take them to the Grand Canyon. Next week we're going, it's not that, Yeah. It's not a hover around commercial. It's not.
Yeah, and you don't have to be a teacher or you don't have to have some great special skill.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because everybody's got friends, right? And like your friend does something really great, and you like, hey, that's awesome. Like we all have that capacity to kind of just be a cheerleader for somebody, and we all do in some shape or form in our everyday lives anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of all this is. It's just this is gonna be a kid that you're gonna hang out with, and you're just gonna do stuff, and and if the kid says, hey, what about whatever, they have a question, or you just answer it. Just be their friend. That's
Absolutely.
all that's really required.
Yeah, you're not a surrogate parent,
right?
You're not. This isn't foster care.
Yep. You're not responsible for the way this kid turns out.
Yeah,
you're
this
just
is
there to
mentorship.
be, just there to be a friend and be a good influence.
And as I say a lot here, the kids come from all backgrounds, all walks of life. There's single parent homes, there's multiple parent homes, there's foster care children. It's all of the above. You get kids that come from middle income, kids from low income, kids from higher income. It's not. There's no rhyme or reason. These are just kids that could use a mentor in their life. And they are recommended by anybody, parents, guidance counselors, preachers. I mean, it's other adults in this child's life that are saying, you know what, we think this child would benefit from being in Big Brothers Big Sisters. And that's all it is a group of kids that people said, you know what, this person needs another mentor in their life, or needs someone that they can talk to or hang out with once in a while. And that's what happens a lot of times is you end up making a match and you make a friendship for life or for a very long time. And next thing you know, you become this person's little or big, and you hang out, and then next thing you know, life happens, they get older, you get older, and then they start going through their milestones in life, like high school graduation, college graduation. Next thing you know, you're sending notes and saying, hanging out or going to the graduation, and then you find out later on they get married and you're at their wedding, or at least you're sending a gift and talking and staying in touch, and next thing you know, every milestone in their life becomes a milestone in your life. And that happens quite often in Big Brothers Big Sisters, and every time that happens, then that's a huge victory, and that's what we want. We want to see those relationships. We'd love to see them last long after they're not bigs and little. They're all bigs. Although as you get older, you get smaller. So the role reverses to the big becomes the little.
Right.
But that's the idea, is to have that. So
and it's another thing too is it's like I always want to stress that don't ever think that these are troubled kids, that because it's not that.
No.
We have littles that maybe she was real close with her grandma, and grandma passed, and now she look,
there's a void in her life that we're trying to help with,
and it's not that, or mom and dad have a lot of kids and they work a lot of hours, and so they just don't have as much time as they would like, and so maybe the youngest really could use some extra attention, not because he has any problems or just kind of needs a little extra attention, and I mean, yes, there are troubled children too, but that's not what we're about, right? It's just being a positive influence and a friend to a kid that could use one.
We talk about we were just talking with the Congresswoman, and obviously the tragedy going on in Texas, that's on a lot of people's hearts this morning. There's going to be a lot of conversations about guns and things like that. You want to fix those problems? It's not that. It's getting involved with things like Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
Yes.
It's being mentors, being involved in these children's lives, being involved in people's lives, listening to them, talking to them. That's how we fix this problem that we're talking about. So you want to get mad and all that, we're all mad. But you want to do something active to prevent those kinds of things from happening, Big Brothers Big Sisters and organizations like it are your answer.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, like Bill always used to say, our big thing is preventative.
Mm-hmm.
We get into children's lives and provide them with mentors before they ever get in trouble,
Mm-hmm.
before there ever is that opportunity for things to go wrong.
Absolutely.
And yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe think about it and think, this is something that, because, I'm just saying, we've got we're at a point where we really need bigs. And it's, I hate coming on month and month and say, hey, we need more bigs. And it's really a point where we need these volunteers to come up and step up. I'd hate for children to slip through the gaps here because we just don't have enough volunteers to service these needs. And so please, if you've got the time, if you got it in your heart, and time is not a lot of time. As a guideline, they tell like an hour a week or 4 hours a month, but that by no means is a regimented standard.
No,
that's a ballpark thing. If they're not going to be like, well, you only spent 56 minutes last week, you got to spend an hour and 4 next. They're not going to do that.
No.
It's not like that, but it's just a guidebook to say, hey, and sometimes it's like, hey, we only see each other once a month, but we're there all day together. You know what I mean? And it's however the schedule works. I mean, the kid isn't just literally sitting around waiting for you to come pick them up either. They've got their own lives in school, and you know what I mean? So you got to work all that out. So it's but it's fun. And here's the other part, and this is where I'll let you, I know I feel like I've been talking a lot, but the other part here, and Kim was talking about this earlier, just because we have 34 doesn't mean 34 adults will solve our problem right now. You guys have an extensive matchmaking process.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you're going to walk in to say, oh, you want to be a big? Great. We got a kid in the other room. Grab him. Let's go. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
There's going to be a background check, making sure you're above board as a volunteer, making sure for safety and security and all of that. So that's standard operating procedure. But then after the security and safety part is gone through, then it's Match.com and that kind of style of thing where you're going to ask maybe an exhausting amount of questions, but a lot of stuff to learn about you to see what makes you tick and what you're into and what you're interested in. And the kids have done the same thing. Mm-hmm. They've gone and asked a lot about their personalities, their likes and dislikes. And then Kim and her team and her staff, they kind of go through and say, this kid and this big, they have a lot of commonalities here. This might be a good work or a good match here. And so that's how they do this process. Mm-hmm. And then they start the meeting. And so even if you call Kim today and say, I want to be a big, it's still going to be a month or two before you actually get into a process of doing activities with your little.
Yes.
Because of the background checks, the matchmaking process, and training too. They just don't turn you loose and say, go have fun with your child. There's training. There's things to help you navigate how to make your things and tips and tricks to make your outings more successful. Mm-hmm. Other bigs and littles come and give you advice and work with you. It's a family. It's a community. So don't feel intimidated like, well, I don't have anything to offer or I don't have the time, because all of those things, Big Brothers, Big Sisters help you navigate.
Absolutely.
You just got to have the desire in your heart to do it.
That's it. That's, I mean, the old adage of it takes a village to raise a kid.
Yeah.
And so we need people. We need people to be involved.
I'm just kind of curious with the matchmaking process here. Just kind of talk about like some of the things y'all look for, and like, because you hear opposites attract. So it's not like you guys are. Because in essence, you're not going to find clones of a big that say, "Here you go."
Right.
I mean, it's give and take a little bit. But what's some of the things you guys do when it's coming to the matchmaking process?
Well, the interview is like you said, it's pretty extensive, and they assess personality and they assess likes and dislikes and things like that.
Gotcha.
I wasn't prepared for this question.
Sorry.
I
just kind of
don't have a copy of the interview right now, but it's probably about 7 pages worth of, it's pretty intense. But don't be intimidated by that, because they're really general questions of how do you feel about XYZ thing, and nothing political or anything like that.
It's really just to learn about you,
kind of life questions.
But I don't know if you guys had like a vibe, just like, it's like, well, I know this little, and the way they interact and talk, I think this, I mean, there's a lot of intuition and stuff kind of play a part. I guess that's where I was kind of going with. I didn't want I mean, like what was kind of like, what are the things you're looking for to say that's a good match? You know what I'm saying?
So the match support professionals, they already have done the interview with the littles, and they're very familiar with their littles. So when they do the interview with a potential big, then yes, there is some of that intuition. And of course, all of these staff members are degreed social workers.
Gotcha.
So they already have the training to they
have the formal training, and now they're using that expertise to make these matches.
Right, and because it's not just personality and
sure.
There's
that comes into it, but it's not all of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's one, and I guess that's what I'm saying. Like we think of like personality, that's just one sliver of the big pie that they look at to say. Then it's also what's their common interest? What's foods they like? What's are they more active? Are they like to sit around and do stuff? Because obviously, if you get a kid that likes to run around, which is a lot, and then you got an adult who's kind of sedentary, then that probably not gonna match. You're gonna want a kid that's a little less wanting to run around to hang out with that one, and vice versa. If you got a kid that loves doing all that, you're going to want an adult that's equally kind of high energy to kind of match that vibe, and that's the kind of stuff I was talking about.
They generally, when they're conducting their interviews on the potential bigs, they about halfway through the interview kind of have an idea of like, I think I have a little that would be perfect for this person.
Sure,
and sometimes not.
Sometimes it doesn't.
And
it didn't jive there.
We have referrals for new kids all the time. So just because today when we're doing your interview, we don't have a little in mind doesn't mean that tomorrow one won't call.
Absolutely.
So having that pool of volunteers is
absolutely
is going to be a big help.
And of course, we got about 5 minutes here before the radio, they make us get off the radio. But in another way, the bill, if it, maybe you don't have the time to dedicate to being a little. I get it, sometimes, but if you can't help that way, then donations and financially is something that is equally as beneficial to big brothers and big sisters. It takes on average, and I'm sure this has actually gone up because of COVID and inflation and everything else, but about $1,500 to support a match for 1 year. That's your background checks, activity cost, and I'm guessing that was pre-COVID numbers. I'm guessing that's probably a little higher now.
I think the last I saw was an average between $1,500 to $1,700 a year. Yeah, so, and because it does cost us to do the background checks. I mean, we have to do fingerprints and all of this, and it's like nationwide background checks, and it's not cheap.
It's a thorough check.
Yes, and so and then the training materials, and there's a lot of upfront costs that we take care of to be able to make these matches. And then of course we have to pay the salaries of the degreed professionals that do this. So yes, we always need dollars as well.
So if you can't support physically, support financially.
Absolutely.
If you go to the website. For Big Brothers, Big Sisters here locally, and this covers all of southeast New Mexico, from Carlsbad and Lee counties on up here in our neck of the woods. Go to www.bbssenm.org. It's the initials of Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Southeast New Mexico. So that's how you remember that if you can't. Just do that. Or Google Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Roswell, Chaves County, Southeast New Mexico. Any of those names, tags will get you where you need to be.
Yes.
Now, you're more than likely just type Big Brothers, Big Sisters. You're going to get the whole international part of it. So you're going to learn all about big, which is fine. But if you want to get more of the local, what's going on here, what the contacts for here, all of that's through the local bbbssenm.org website.
Yes, or you can give me a call at 627-2227, which is BBBS.
Yes. But there's a donate now button on the website too. So if you want to just go into it, but if you'd rather do something bigger or something different, you can, like you said, call Kim or come by the office on 2nd. Do you guys have that pretty much man during business hours
Yes,
right now?
I'm there.
Okay.
Well, I'm not there right now.
Right. Well, I didn't know.
Yes.
But I know in the virtual world, you guys are doing a lot out of the office. I didn't know if you're
Yes.
getting back to hanging back in the office.
Yes, I'm
again.
there every day. So
Perfect,
you guys
okay.
can come see me and sign up. We
Great.
are waiting for you.
Excellent. And of course, and also, too, if you know a child that can benefit from the program, please reach out. Like I said, I know we got 34 waiting right now, but we don't want any child to miss. So just because that, and here's the thing, as bigs come in, you know, I'm not trying to say you to get bumped to the front or nothing, but it's not about who gets first come, first serve. It's whose personality jives the best. You know what I mean? So it may just so happens that you recommend a child, they come in and just how it happened to have been walking through the door earlier was a person that just seems to jive with that little, and voila, it just that match is made.
Yep.
So please reach out to Kim. Reach out if you, and like we said earlier, really anyone can recommend a child for Big Brothers. So it doesn't have to be the parent, doesn't have to be a teacher. It can be all of those, but doesn't just have to be. If you know a child in your life that could benefit from mentorship, whether you're a pastor or just a neighbor or whatever it is, please reach out and recommend. Now, obviously, if you talk to the parents first, maybe if you recommend,
Yeah, because we do have to have the parents' permission. Like we do have to have them on board.
Yeah, don't just spring them with that. But when Kim calls and says, "Oh, your child is a what?" Get them on board before you start recommending. But yes,
yes. So
very good,
absolutely
excellent. One more time, give out the phone number for the office.
It is 627-2227.
Or like you said, www.bbbssenm.org. Again, that's short for Big Brothers Big Sisters Southeast New Mexico. And don't forget, and the office, by the way, is on 2nd Street in the executive. What's that name of that building?
The Executive West
building.
Yes.
It's on 2nd. If you're going towards Ruidoso, it'll be on your right as you're leaving town.
Yes,
there.
and we're in Suite 200.
Suite 200. Yeah, I used to say look for the big yellow monster, but it's not there anymore.
No,
it's gone.
it's gone.
That's no longer a landmark. Awesome. Well, thank you, Kim, as always. Appreciate the visit. Thank you for hanging out a little later today.
No
we appreciate
problem.
that. And we'll see you next time, okay?
All right. Appreciate it.
Have a great weekend.
You too.
All right. It's 9 o'clock. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. Town Hall News next. We'll be back on the other side. Don't go away.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. He is appealing to Americans everywhere to pray for his community.
This was a tragic and senseless event today, and my heart was broke today.
The superintendent of schools in the small town of Uvalde, Texas, where a gunman opened fire at Robb Elementary School. Before he was shot to death by law enforcement, police say the 18-year-old killed 19 children and 2 teachers. They say he murdered his grandmother before heading to the school, which is nearby. President Biden, addressing the nation last night, appeals for prayer and action, makes a pitch for what he calls
common sense gun laws.
Republican Senator Tom Tillis of North Carolina saying that more gun control will never prevent people who suffer mental health or emotional issues from hurting others.
If all you do is focus on controlling weapons, people like this will find other ways to harm people.
And Texas Governor Greg Abbott expected to visit Uvalde, about 85 miles west of San Antonio, later today. It was an easy win for Georgia's Governor Brian Kemp in the state's Republican gubernatorial primary, Kemp defeating Trump-endorsed former Senator David Perdue.
Networks called for Kemp to win around 8:30 p.m. Eastern. A one-time ally of the former president, Kemp stirred Mr. Trump's ire following the 2020 presidential election. Mr. Trump vowed to campaign against Kemp, eventually persuading Perdue to enter the race for governor in hopes of ousting him.
That's correspondent Bernie Bennett. Georgia's Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger has won the Republican primary in a bid to keep his job. Word this morning that durable goods orders for those big-ticket items rose 0.4% last month. It was the 6th increase in 7 months. And stocks are higher on Wall Street. Right now, the Dow's up 116 points. The Nasdaq ahead 107 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
I'm about to compare a pepper shaker to a cash-out refinance. Hang with me. You know when you're at a restaurant and they ask, would you like some fresh ground pepper? And then they crank that giant tube, but almost nothing comes out? For me, only a certain amount of time is socially acceptable to wait. I know that getting that pepper out might make my life better, but it just seems too impossible. And that's what we hear people say about the cash out refinance. People realize that the value of their home has gone up like hot pepper the last few years, leaving all this extra money sitting inside their home. But is it too hard to get out? It's Ryan from United Faith Mortgage. If you're interested in cashing out the extra pepper in your home, we're good at doing all the work while you just sit back and relax. And often, your mortgage payment and years in the loan will stay the same. If you'd like to hear about your options,
we are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
A regional governor in eastern Ukraine says at least 6 civilians have been killed by the latest Russian shelling in a town that's at the epicenter of the fighting 3 months into Putin's war.
The Luhansk region's governor says that 8 people were injured over the last 24 hours and accuses the Russian troops of deliberately targeting shelters where civilians are hiding. The town is located in Ukraine's eastern industrial heartland of the Donbass, where Russian forces have been pressing their offensive despite stiff Ukrainian resistance. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said late Tuesday that the country's forces in the region are facing difficulties. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
North Korea has launched a suspected intercontinental ballistic missile and 2 shorter-range weapons toward its eastern waters. Some tests coming just hours after President Biden wrapped up his trip to Asia. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. A 25-year-old man wanted in the unprovoked fatal shooting of a New York City subway passenger is in police custody. Andrew Abdullah, subject of 2 pending criminal cases in the city, surrendered to police.
On Sunday, just before noon, 48-year-old Daniel Enrique was on his way to brunch from his Park Slope, Brooklyn home on the last car of the Q train as it was crossing the Manhattan Bridge. Police say witnesses tell them the suspect, Abdullah, was pacing the train, then stopped in front of Enrique, took out a gun and shot him in the chest. When the train got to Canal, he took off. Mayor Eric Adams.
The city must be safe, and that is what I must do as the mayor of the city.
Julie Walker, New York.
Stocks have been bouncing around a bit on Wall Street this morning. Traders awaiting the release of the Federal Open Market Committee's latest minutes from its meeting. Right now, stocks in positive territory. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Crazy Inviernos.
Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say Friday. I really do.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to, but we just not there yet. Sorry. You got a couple more days. Sorry, kids.
Could be worse. I messed up and said Monday earlier. Like I ruined it for a whole nation of school children.
It feels Monday-esque, doesn't it?
It really does.
Although it is the last week of school. My wife, they're going on a field trip today. So they're going to go see a movie.
Okay.
But her school is very close to the movie theater.
Right.
So they're going to walk.
Oh, they're going to walk?
They're going to walk to the theater.
But across, like, Maine and stuff? That's a lot.
Huh?
There's full disclosure, your wife works at Brindle Elementary.
Correct.
And they're going, I'm guessing, to the theater behind the mall. That's okay. No,
Yeah, they're going to take a little jaunt.
Cool. Watch for semis, kids.
I think in some of us that'd be PE class and
yeah,
and but yeah, they're gonna
go. Wait for it, and run.
I'm assuming they're gonna safely handle the street crossing abilities and all that stuff.
I really hope
they're gonna have attendants to make sure they get across safely.
I just worry about the slow children. That's all.
They're just gonna be like, all right, kids, dodge in between the cars, not at the cars.
I played a lot of Frogger growing up. I know what it's like out there.
That's right. There's only so many logs you can stand on in the middle of that road.
Exactly. I just picture 15 kids on a median strip of a highway waiting while 16 semis go by. But hey, good luck, kids.
Enjoy the movie. Oh, by the way, you got to get back. No, they will have adult supervision to make sure the kids get across the street.
I love the fact that, and this is like universal around for all schools across the country, how the last week of school, teachers are just like, yeah, whatever. It's just like, we'll take them to the pool. We're going to go see a movie. Yeah. Whatever. I'm going to be drinking in the back of the class. You guys do you, okay?
All the high school kids are doing finals and all that, so they're busy. But elementary, it's...
We have to be here, so we might as well, live it up.
Little kids' attention span are worse than yours and mine.
Oh, I know.
So by this time of the week, they're just like, we just got to keep them quiet till the week's over and hope they don't burn the place down.
There's a reason I don't tell my daughter anything. She anticipates nothing. It's like 20 minutes before we're going to do a thing. Hey, guess what we're doing? Because otherwise, it's nonstop.
Sure.
This is the thing that we're building up to.
Unless you want to talk about it every minute for the next 2 days.
I've learned.
Yeah, he's a vet.
Seen some stuff, man.
But happy Wednesday. It is still Wednesday. We got a couple more days before the Friday stuff hits us. Good news, though. You know why it's good today? Because today's weather's nice.
It really is.
Friday's weather, not so nice. It's going to be 157 degrees. Which is gonna be? I know you guys have a baseball thing coming up here. That's gonna, but it's gonna be like 100 on Friday.
Yeah,
it's gonna be 79 today. So, good day to walk to the theater.
Right. This is like perfect springtime Roswell weather.
Yeah. So, good news is there's gonna be lots of things at the event we're gonna talk about here to cool you off. So. But yeah, it's gonna be warmer here. So enjoy your Wednesday. 79, not really windy either. That's just kind of weird. Oh, it's great. It's nice out. Oh, yeah, but it's 20 to 30 mile an hour winds.
Yeah, because we've been trained to, like, if there's ever good in life, there has to be some suck to it also. So we can't just have good stuff.
Right. Yeah.
It's just not right.
I don't know. Maybe it's my generation. like it's like, no, don't you get too excited.
Right.
We're going to, you know what it is? Everybody Loves Raymond.
Fair enough.
Are you all familiar with the TV show Everybody Loves Raymond?
Yeah.
If you don't know what torture is, that's that show. That they literally, if something's going, that whole family, if something's too well, something's wrong.
Exactly.
And they're like guilty about it. It's like, oh, I have too much niceness. Something's gonna, they have too much guilt about it. It's that. Watch Everybody Loves Raymond.
That's the American way. For lack of a better term, let's call it Protestantism. Basically, those who are raised in that household, it's like, no, there has to be some guilt associated with any good. It's the yin to the yang.
Yeah.
I guess the yang to the yin. I don't know.
We'll go with that.
I'm not spiritual.
But yeah, that's kind of my mindset. So I'm like, no. We can't have too nice of weather. It's got to be a fire watch or something to make it. It can't be too perfect.
Yeah.
So, but anyway.
I have out loud in my adult life over 1,000 times uttered the phrase, usually to no one, why can't we just have nice things?
Now you know the answer why.
Yeah. It's the American way.
Very good. Well, we're going to have some of the ladies from Tobosa join us here in just a few minutes. Coming up this Friday is their big 7th inning stretch. They're going to partner up with the Roswell Invaders, and they've got a big fun day planned all day. By the way, if you go to their Facebook page, there's links to get tickets to Invader games and all that stuff. We'll talk more about that with them here in just a few minutes. But we would love for you folks to come on out, spend some time with us on the Chaves County Courthouse lawn on Friday, and have some fun as we get invaded during the 7th inning stretch.
We're mostly hoping to invade Toboso.
Yeah, because we're invaders.
That's right.
Yeah.
We don't get invaded. We invade.
It's not the Roswell invadees.
We're not. Hey, we're not the invaded. All right.
That's right. So, but yeah, we're going to be talking about that this hour and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show.
Mm-hmm.
There's something else I was going to mention. It just flew right out of my head.
Yeah, it happens.
Something about the weekend. It'll come to me
later. The R&B singer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that makes sense.
When I'm not here, I'm studying up on the weekend.
Right. Well, we're in the fan club. Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
And how did those guys in the 80s know that we'd be working for this guy?
Loverboy, man. Real soothsayers.
Yeah. The Loverboy, they're actually, but they got a crystal ball. They didn't know it. They have a big one. And it's kind of like Spinal Tap, where they bring the big, now this is dating me a little bit, but if you ever watch This Is Spinal Tap, they get Stonehenge to come in on stage. And they think it's going to be this massive thing, and then they drop it down, and Stonehenge is about 2 feet. Just sitting in the middle. It's supposed to be this huge stage prop, and it's just, I was like, they got one of those as a crystal ball, and they think it's going to be this giant thing. It shows up, and it's like a marble sitting on sitting on stage.
By the way, as a side note, if you ever want to know how bad record deals were for bands in the 80s, look at Loverboy. They are still, like, the retirement plan for them was terrible. They are still doing, like, state fairs and stuff. Like out there touring with Bay City Rollers and whatnot, and those other bands. They made nothing.
Let me ask you this: is that reason for that? Is name another song other than "Working for the Weekend" by Loverboy?
Well, I was going to say the reason for that is a strong addiction to mind altering substances. Also, for sure.
I'm just saying, like Eddie Money. You can name more than one of his songs.
No.
Or
who needs to? He bought 2 tickets to Paradise. It's fine.
Or Tears for Fears. You can name more than one of their songs.
Can you?
I can.
Okay, you can.
Oh, I can.
Oh, I bet.
I can name like more than 2. That's a flex.
I was gonna say Broken Wings, but no, that's Mr. Mister. I got nothing.
Sowing the Seeds of Love. Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
See, Everybody Wants to Rule the World is the one.
Shout.
Okay, Shout. I'll give you that.
These were all hits.
Yeah.
Where we got Working for the Weekend, and we got Working for the Weekend.
There was like one other Loverboy song. I can't remember what it was, but there was one. They had one.
It came on the tape that... Oh, that was Night Ranger. That was Night Ranger, yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, there was another song. It came on the tape that...
It was the B-side, yeah.
The other side of the tape that Working for the Weekend was on.
It's like we were just talking about presidents of the United States of America. They had Lump, but they had one other song that I knew because it was the B-side.
It was the B-side on the single. When you're too cheap to buy the whole album, you just wanted to buy the one song.
Oh, dude, I lived on singles. Those were my jam.
Yep. So, all right. I'm spent.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. Let's go ahead and take a look at your weather, which, spoiler alert, nice today, hotter later.
Ugh.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have cool high pressure moving into our area today, so our temperatures will stay pretty comfortable. Lots of sunshine across eastern New Mexico. We'll be in the upper 70s to low 80s. Well, the overnight hours clear and we cool off to about 50, and then our daytime highs start going up on Thursday. About 90 for the afternoon high and sunny, right around 100 by Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 58 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 48%. Winds variable at 3 miles per hour. I usually don't get to see that word very often, but I do today. Variable.
Is that a 3 mile an hour wind, I feel?
It is. Yeah. I'm assuming that's VRBL is abbreviation for variable.
It could be.
Otherwise, there's a new word I don't know.
Verbal.
But
verbal winds. The winds are going to talk to you today. I will tell you this: a 3 mile an hour wind is enough to mess my hair up. It doesn't take much. Just a little, just like
shellac it.
This is what happens when you have a comb over. But that makes it worse. Then I start looking like Ted Koppel.
Ted Koppel's a handsome man.
He was.
What you talking about, Ted Koppel?
Don't you dare badmouth Ted Koppel.
Variable at 3 miles per hour, the winds. Today, enjoy it. Sunny, 79 for a high today. North winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Skies will be clear tonight with an overnight low of 53. East winds 5 to 10. Thursday, sunny, 91. So kind of a stepping us up to hot with north winds 5 to 10. And then Friday, sunny, hot, 100 the high. Of the 3 days, the next 3-4 days, Friday's the coolest. So enjoy that. So if we need a glass half full. 100 with south winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday's going to be sunny, breezy, 103 for a high. Sunday, sunny, hot, breezy, 102 for a high. And then for your Memorial Day Monday, sunny, hot, breezy, 101 for a high there.
Fun!
So, and 99 on Tuesday. So light coats that day. All right, it is 18 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's go ahead and take about a 4-minute break. And then on the other side here, we'll talk with the ladies from Tobosa, and we'll talk all about the 7th inning stretch on Friday and Roswell Invaders and what's happening at Tobosa. Other stuff, too. So don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Have you been dealing with stress or anxiety lately? Don't let that stop you from getting the dental work done that you know needs to happen. Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher with Carabelli Dental, and every day we help people just like you have a relaxing and pain-free experience with IV sedation. Just imagine a dental experience where you don't remember the needles or the drills. If that's what you're looking for, we can help. Let us ease your stress and create the best dental experience ever.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main or call 622-4455.
This July, Roswell becomes Ground Zero.
I'm Clyde Lewis, and you're listening to Ground Zero.
The International UFO Museum and Research Center, in conjunction with Roswell's Talk FM, are bringing nationally syndicated radio show host Clyde Lewis to Roswell for the 2022 UFO Festival. Clyde will be broadcasting his show Ground Zero live from the International UFO Museum on Friday, July 1st from 8 to 11 p.m. Join Clyde as we celebrate the 75th anniversary of the Roswell incident. The truth is out there.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin & Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin & Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin & Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
Are you tired of the endless spiral of medications that mostly are there to treat the side effects of other medications you take? Many medical providers are quick to prescribe medication without looking for healthier treatment options. At Roswell Medical Clinic, we practice functional medicine, which looks for ways to treat your illness with healthier lifestyle changes and fewer pills. At Roswell Medical Clinic, our providers will take the time to explore treatment options that include lifestyle changes and don't necessarily rely on more prescriptions. Call Roswell Medical Clinic today to schedule your appointment at 575-623-3311 or stop by our clinic at 111 West Hobbs in Roswell. Roswell Medical Clinic. Don't wait for an illness to start valuing your wellness.
For over 40 years, Sierra Blanca Motors here in Roswell have been providing locals with quality vehicles and are committed to providing you quality vehicles and service for many years to come. No sales gimmicks, no inflated pricing, just a quality pre-owned vehicle listed at retail pricing or less. Have a used vehicle to sell? Get top trade-in value or an amazing cash offer today. Let Danny or Jose provide you a great car buying experience. Call 575-622-7907 or stop by Sierra Blanca Motors at 720 South Main Street in Roswell. Se habla español. Martine's Capital Cafe in Roswell offers authentic and highly rated New Mexico food. Explore their amazing menu featuring huevos rancheros or asado with eggs or their green chili stew. And you can't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger, all made from scratch using their finest and freshest ingredients. Open for carryout with curbside delivery or limited dine-in. Just call ahead 624-2111. Martine's Capital Cafe, always pleasing the most refined palate. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th in Roswell.
KSVPTV.com is where you can watch the area graduation ceremonies this week. Wednesday, it's Artesia High School Baccalaureate at 7:30 p.m. Thursday, Roswell University High graduation at 6, Artesia High School graduation at 7:30. Friday, Goddard High School graduation at 7 o'clock. Saturday, it's the RISD Early College graduation at 11 a.m. and the Roswell High graduation at 7 p.m. If you can't attend or have friends and family members around the country or around the world, make sure they log on to ksvptv.com to watch the Class of 2022 graduation exercises. The broadcast of area graduations is presented by Pecos Valley Equipment, Trans Aero, Double D Animal Nutrition and Supply, Amigo Machinery, Sun Country Garden Center, J&J Home Care, Forest Tire, Carlsbad Medical, Carlsbad National Bank, the Eddy County DWI Task Force, and HF Sinclair.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Astronauts are not allowed to eat beans before they go into space because passing wind in a spacesuit damages them. The suits for the astronauts. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Tobosa Developmental Services. I've talked to you since I did this, so I'm going to see if I'm going to remember if I don't butcher this. Gina Arambula. Very good. I want to say Arambula. Arambula. Yes. Joining us with Tobosa Developmental Services. Also, Felicia Moore is back with us as well. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How are y'all doing today?
Good.
Good.
Well, enjoying the weather.
Enjoying the weather. Enjoying it while we got it. Yeah. So, in all fairness, yeah, it's going to be warm, but we're used to it, right? Come on out to the event and have fun. There's going to be plenty of drink and eating, music, and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
So, you'll have a place to cool off. You'll be good to go. So,
an oasis, if you will.
An oasis, yes. But first off, before we talk about Friday and all this good stuff, just give folks that aren't familiar with Tobosa and just kind of give them, because it's a big umbrella, but Tobosa really they help folks, families with children with early developmental issues. They help adults with special needs for life skills, job coaching, all of that stuff. They offer a daycare center for families. There's more, and
there's more. Yeah. there's so much more.
I'm just scratching the surface, but you guys really provide services for a multitude of families and needs here.
Yeah, we like to brag that Tobosa, being the gem and stuff that it is it serves people from birth all the way, even pre-birth and stuff. For some of our programs too, all the way to the end of life.
Gosh.
So we cover all the way through.
I know it's a little crass, but I from the womb to the tomb, I think is a beautiful. I know it's a little crass and doesn't look sexy on a shirt, but it kind of does.
Put a hashtag.
Hashtag womb to the tomb. We got it. But all joking aside, they really do. They help folks, and obviously with science and technology the way it is, when we were kids, a lot of things that you guys are doing now for kids before they're 3 years or 3 years old, at 3 years old, is gangbusters, different than when we grew up. So things like kids on the spectrum,
early intervention. Can I tell you that
dyslexia, all that kind of stuff.
When we first got Rhiannon's diagnosis, I mean, this was 2014.
Okay.
It was 2015 actually. It was still, I mean, we've jumped leaps and bounds in what we understand about autism spectrum since just 2015. Like, it has changed so much, and early intervention has become such a powerful tool in finding those kids on the spectrum, and we're doing something about it.
Well, and I think we're and I'm not going to turn this into a whole science discussion, but and it's also, I think we got to a point where we're now people that maybe weren't diagnosed being on the spectrum because we just
right here
they're just.
Oh, I'm sure of it.
They're a little quirky. We didn't realize, you know what I mean? They just that's Sean.
I joke about it all the time. I'm like, look, I'm on the spectrum. I'm pretty sure at least. So.
But in all seriousness, we are learning. It's like, you know what? These are actually parts of autism and being on the spectrum. These are a much more milder form or much more different but it's the same family we're talking about here, and so we're learning that kind of stuff, and the early end. I mean, now there's like, that's why you're seeing kids that are like 3 years old wearing eyeglasses and stuff. Where that was, I think, when we were kids, they didn't even mess with your eyes until you were in school.
I had glasses when I was 2 years old, but that was only because I was running into walls, falling down, getting back up, and doing it again.
And they said that we should put some
that
glasses
boy ain't
on.
right. We should probably do something about that. And now I'm in radio, so make of that what you will.
But that's what Tobosa does. I mean, that's scratching the surface again, but really that's what it's all about. So that being said, we would love for you to come out and support their big fun event that's happening on Friday, because at the end of the day, this big event is all to support and keep all of the stuff that goes on through Tobosa. Oh, by the way, for all those children early intervention stuff we're talking about, free of charge to the parents.
Absolutely.
All that stuff, when they're learning about their kid, if they're being on the spectrum and how to navigate that, or if the kid has a hearing disability or a vision issue or something like that, all of that is fixed and found for them free of charge, by the way. Free of charge. So
a full year of early intervention for my child, where they would come out on a weekly basis. You have sat on my couch on a weekly basis, and showed through play, just through simple play, rote counting, things like that make a massive difference. And I was there learning. I was there taking notes and learning every step of the way. And it was all 100% free, and it changed my life.
Yeah. So that's what we're talking about here. So how do you help? Come on out.
Learn more.
Enjoy some baseball and come have some fun with us, and some live music and food, and come be a part of our party. That's pretty much it. So
we'll have more information on that, what we do and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, by the way, if you want to learn about all these services and you're thinking, really, this is available to me, my family could definitely benefit stuff. Oh, come on by and learn about it too. And while you're there, come eat some food and dance and have some fun and all that good stuff too. But the event's called the 7th Inning Stretch because they're partnered with the Roswell Invaders here, our local baseball team, which, by the way, their season's getting underway here, and they're I'm not sure if they were looking for host families for some of the ball players. I'm not sure if they found all they need.
Them all.
Okay, good. Yes. But
I'm sure it was a real hard sell. Hey, we've got some burly baseball players who are looking for a place to crash. Single ladies, if you happen to have an extra bedroom or something.
I'm thinking, if
Actually, she had a little trouble this year. So.
Yeah, I know. They did. They had trouble.
I know Roswell's a thirsty town, all right?
But that's a selling point. I'm like, yeah, you want a young man in his physical prime living in your house for a couple months?
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking dirty like his. I'm talking
clean
like
the gutters,
mow the lawn, work on this. Oh yeah, I've been getting. I think of You ever seen Grandma's Boy?
Yep.
One of my favorite movies, by the way. It's an awful, stupid movie,
terrible.
but I love it. There's a scene where he moves back to his grandma, and he comes back, and Grandma gets him up at 6 to clean the gutters and do all these. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Put this guy to work. It's like,
Exactly. Picture Jose Canseco sitting in your living room folding towels.
That's awesome,
right?
But anyway, but if you'd like to do that, I'm glad they got everybody.
They did, but they're still needing support and trying to raise money because there's 2 families that they did bring their family and they need to stay at the fairgrounds.
Okay.
But they do need some funds to help them out for those 2 months.
Okay, so if someone would like to step up, or somebody's like to come out and be involved, come out Friday, learn all about it, and we'll give you more information about how you can get involved here. But so let's talk about this Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. out at the Chaves County Courthouse lawn is going to be our Tobosa's 7th inning stretch with the Roswell Invaders here. Hey, kind of give a little background. How did this all come to be, and how did this all just come to happen? I'm kind of curious.
Well, Gina is new to the Tobosa family.
Welcome.
And one of
threw your feet right to the fire.
Right? She sure did. And one of the things is we were talking about, we've always talked about ways that we could get involved with the community and in the same token get our message out. Mm-hmm. And so Gina, having resources that she has, just started asking around, and this event kind of evolved. And so, Gina, you can give like the full detail on like you contacting them. And
I just started contacting people, and I started with the Invaders because I saw that they had it on their website.
Gotcha.
That we can fundraise by purchasing. People can purchase.
You can help each other. Yeah.
Through their links,
Mhm.
and that would help Tobosa. So we started off with that, but then later on, I started thinking, and I asked our CEO that if we can do a big event, kind of, supporting.
Sure.
Actually,
kick off their season and kick off kind of
ours
our
and,
season for it.
And
Yeah.
actually also to help the community, because we asked a lot of people for, to come out and discuss what they do in the community. So it's like a little kickoff after COVID, and
Nice.
And just everybody kind of enjoying something.
So really, it's the Memorial Day weekend here. I know a lot of don't act like you're not going to cut out of work early on Friday. Don't act like you're not. I know that move. And
I kind of have to. I have a thing.
You have an excuse. But would love for you to come spend some, and even if you can't do it till you get off work at 5, 6 o'clock, they're going to be there partying still. So come on down and be a part of the event. It really is a great chance to come. Like you said, if you as a family are looking for some of the services that Tobosa offers, it's a great resource because, like you said, you're going to have all of your department heads, all of your folks that can meet with families and talk with them about what Tobosa can do through the various, whether it's daycare or if you've got an adult with special needs that needs help with life skills and job coaching and all that. All of that's part of the Tobosa umbrella here, so they can help with that stuff. But if you're just looking for a great chance to come have some fun with the family, maybe get some tickets to some baseball games and things like that.
We are going to be raffling out tickets.
Yeah.
So most definitely. And then also we have our American Legion, the Color Guard.
Okay.
Is going to kick off our
Okay,
ceremony.
make it official here and do a kind of proper salute to our flag and our country and kick things off. Much like a baseball game, you sing the national anthem. We're gonna bring the flags in and pay tribute to our country before
And of course we wanted to set the event kind of surrounded by things that happen at a baseball game. And stuff.
Yeah.
So we've got that, and we've got live bands.
Yeah.
So you gotta. I imagine there's got to be some peanuts and Cracker Jacks lying around
That's
somewhere, right?
They even hired an overweight guy to come out and scratch himself. It's true authenticity.
It's Sean.
It
It's
is.
Sean.
It's me. It's
that guy.
Mike, you gotta leave something for the people. Spoiler alert, jeez.
Well, he is going to wear pinstripes, so there's that.
Gonna randomly point to places, have a bat on my shoulder. It's the whole thing.
But there will be actually a meet and greet with the invaders, so they will have an opportunity to meet the community.
Yeah, meet the
stuff too,
players, and kids love that. So bring the kids out, let them meet the ball players, and who knows, they might even have a catch with them out there or something. It's out in the park there,
Is
or
it
out on the
Rosie?
courthouse lawn.
Their mascot is the mascot gonna be there? I think it's
Yes.
Rosie.
There's going to be their mascot, and we're having our 2 mascots out there too.
Oh, I didn't know you guys had mascots.
Well, mascots for this event.
Oh,
I was gonna say, I was on the board 3 days ago. I didn't even know that we had mascots.
It's Sean. You're the mascot. No,
There you go. It's the overweight guy that's gonna scratch himself.
By the way, you're going to be busy on Friday.
A lot of hats.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we thought it was an opportunity because the kids should be getting out about half day that day.
Yeah, it'll be the last day of school. And parents, you know as well as I do, they're going to come with fire and brimstone when they get off school on Friday. And that's going to be a ball of fire coming at your house, hot and ready with 2 months of freedom in front of them. Oh, they're going to be... Take them to the courthouse lawn, let them burn that energy off.
Absolutely.
By 8:30 that night, they're going to be tuckered out. And you're like, oh.
We have a petting zoo.
There you go. You got
snap.
You're gonna so you get home, put Disney Plus on for about 10 minutes, and then we're passed out. So.
Exactly. One episode of Bluey. We're gone.
Exactly.
Yeah, but come on out. It's gonna be a lot of fun. There's gonna be games, fun. It's just a community picnic, basically. Just coming out and have fun, and at the same time, get a chance to meet some of the Roswell Invader baseball, meet the new team this year, and who knows, you might be shaking hands with the next Babe Ruth or whoever out there. I was gonna say like one of them, but I was like, man, everyone's got controversy nowadays. Like Jose Canseco, no, can't say that guy. But Babe Ruth,
you're good with Babe.
But yeah, definitely, you can come out and meet, and that's just it. These guys are. It's fun because this level of baseball, they're so passionate about it, and it's all these players that come for the love of the game, and it really is the true pastime part of baseball. Now, granted, these guys are all trying and hopefully someday are looking to make it in the majors or something like that. But they're still playing because they love baseball. You know what I mean?
Albert
and I think
Pujols. I was sitting here trying to think of the guy's name. Albert Pujols. That's the only other baseball player that like sits in my head. Yeah, just because of his name mostly.
Big sports fans here.
Albert Pujols.
Nothing.
Yeah. You could be meeting the next. I was trying to think of you could be meeting the next Albert Pujols.
There you go.
Yeah. Come on out.
The other thing that I wanted to mention is that games June through July, mid-July, the Invaders have teamed up with Tobosa.
Oh, cool.
To allow us part of the proceeds that the tickets are bought.
Oh, nice. You're going back to Tobosa. Okay. Now, do they have to buy them through your links or if they get tickets anywhere?
No, they would have to buy it through our link.
Okay, so when you buy tickets for games in June, to help Tobosa out, we ask that you go through Tobosa's Facebook page or website and click the links there. I know on the Facebook page is the flyer for the event here, and then I think are those all of June's games? June and July looks
June
like.
And July.
There's like 6 different games there that you can click the link direct, get your tickets through that link, and a portion of your purchase goes right back to Tobosa. So that's a great way to help out.
Yeah, it's super cool. They're going to have some of our guys out there. We've already got one of our individuals who has his own newsstand and snack stand, and so he'll be out there.
Selling
stuff.
He's gonna.
We have somebody that's going to be going out there doing the first pitch, and so they're just.
They're just
awesome
making it
things.
accommodating and really partnering with the community and doing.
Yes,
that's great to hear. So really, first 2 months of the season going to be Tobosa night out at the ballpark here.
Yes.
So definitely come on out.
Especially the 14th. June 14th is.
That's the big Tobosa day out at the ball game there. So is that when you guys doing the first pitch and all that stuff? Now, is he going to have his concession stand for all these games or just the?
I believe it's just that one.
Okay.
Just that one day.
Okay. Unless he makes a killing, they're going to bring him back.
They might like it.
He's got all the good stuff.
Yeah, right.
Bringing out the kettle corn and stuff. I don't know.
He's got the good Skittles.
So they're real hard to find ones, you know?
Yes.
And we still have availability if any arts and crafts or
Okay,
any
if you
type
want to
of
be a booth, a vendor
vendors,
out there.
any type
Okay.
of vendors that would like to join us.
Good deal. Come, but the event's Friday, so don't
Yes.
wait till
Yeah.
Friday to get a hold of Gina here. Reach out maybe like today.
Yes, today or tomorrow.
To do that. But yeah, so it's going to be 10 a.m. to 8. So it's going to be pretty much all day out on the Travis County Courthouse lawn. Come on, I know it's Memorial Day weekend, so there isn't going to be the first Friday stuff there. So it'll be just Tobosa and Invader stuff here on the courthouse lawn this Friday. So come on, they'll be there till 8 o'clock at night.
Yes.
So hopefully the party's going on all day. So maybe if you can't make it, during the day, come out. Maybe swing by during lunch on your lunch hour at noon. Come on by for a little bit, get something to eat, and check out some of the music, and maybe learn if you need some information about some of the services. Come on out, meet a couple of the Invaders, and or if you want, just come out maybe after dinner when the kids get out of school that day, and just bring the whole family down, get them good and tired, and then send them home at 8 o'clock at night.
There you go.
In the meantime, though, if you can't make it out to Friday, what's probably the best way to learn if there's families or people listening right now and they're saying, I'm just new to the area learning about Tobosa. Is it go to trytobosa.org is probably the best resource to kind of learn about what Tobosa does?
Yeah, and if you want to learn specifically about Tobosa, they have their website. We also have websites for 2 of the 4 children's services. So,
okay.
Los Pasitos has their own website that talks about early intervention.
Yeah, they're part of Tobosa, but they almost kind of their own entity because they're what they do is specialized and it's unique to what everything else is.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of its own branch of Tobosa, but it's all part of the umbrella.
Yeah, and then Little Steps also has their own website as
Good deal.
well.
Which is actually that's your daycare center. If you don't have children that have early intervention issues, no problem. Little Steps is there for if you just need a daycare center in an educational and informal environment for your kids and that, do an education that they can do. And by the way, come on out Friday. There'll be representatives from Little Steps there to show you all about the curriculum and the program and exactly what your child's going to be doing in Little Steps and all that.
And we have home visiting, and which is about almost 2 years old, and CPP, which is child parent psychotherapy, that is just getting started. And it's about a year into it now.
Okay.
Still getting the foundation of that built up, but all these divisions will be represented over at the courthouse lawn, and we could talk about all these services. Essentially, every service that Tobosa provides is free to the community, with the exception of our learning center, our daycare.
Well, that's a private business, and that's and to be honest, they're providing a service, not a medical service. They're providing a
but
service.
Bear in mind that the money that you're spending with Little Steps is going towards an umbrella of amazing.
What's not covering
group
the needs of Little Steps is going back to help Los Pasitos or any of the other parts of Tobosa here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're supporting either way. But yes, the one thing, the one for-profit part of Tobosa really is the Little Steps. And that's just, it's an amazing daycare center, but at the end of the day, it's not a medical facility. It's just a daycare center.
Correct.
So, but if you want a place where your kids get a structured and fun environment while you're at work and things like that, and I'm sure the kids that kind of use the Little Steps as their place for their, once they get to school, I bet their grades and stuff are a little better because they're kind of getting a jump start on some of the stuff
100%.
in Little Steps there. So by the time they get to kindergarten, first and second grade, it's almost a review for some of the stuff we're talking about.
Absolutely. So. And what's super cool is, I mean, there's a portion of legislation has approved childcare to be free. Where if you qualify for childcare assistance, they have just recently passed. Where if you qualify for childcare assistance, it is absolutely, the state will pay for it 100%.
Nice.
So
that might be an avenue for some families.
Yes.
Yeah, be like, hey, I want to go to Little Steps, but I can't afford it. Well, you know what? Maybe there is a way we can do that. Again, talk to the folks at Tobosa. They can help you navigate through that stuff. Trust me. Tobosa has a bunch of staff that are really good at finding ways to get services you need to be paid for by somebody else.
You're not wrong. You're absolutely right.
What we do.
It's the dance that they do, and they're real good at it.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
but it's all for the for a good, for an amazing thing. And
absolutely. Well, that's just it. This is what they do: is they help people in need, and we're going to have fun and talk baseball and eat food and watch some music and all that on Friday, and kick our shoes back or kick our hair back a little bit on the courthouse lawn, but. All of this is serving a greater good. It's to help our kids and our families in this community, and we really appreciate the Invaders partnering and keeping they're very much a fabric of the community. But granted, their players come from other places, but we bring them in and adopt them, and the team is our team, and it's just really neat to see that. So it's great to see that you guys are partnering, their family partnering with your family to make all of Roswell's families a better place.
Absolutely.
And we actually like to thank all our sponsors. I mean, they're phenomenal, especially Holly Frontier.
List them all off. Yeah, list off those sponsors there. Crumlin and all the ones that are on your list there. Because
we have Holly Frontier was our biggest sponsor, New Mexico Gas Company, Crumlin, Roswell Tires, Richland, Custom Construction, Lopez for donating the tickets.
Awesome.
Insurance, and George Carpet, and Hampton's Farms for the peanuts.
Awesome.
Nice. So
we
have
nuts
a
straight
few
from
more.
the farm.
Right.
Huh? Nice.
Health Quest too, donating some stuff too.
Awesome. Well, events like this don't happen without the support of businesses like this in our community, and some of those names you mentioned. I hear those names a lot being mentioned in many nonprofit events that are happening, and we thank them for continuing to support. And the title sponsor, Holly Frontier, again, another company that constantly is in the forefront of Crumlin, Richland. These are names I hear all the time, and like, oh yeah, we got a golf tournament, or we got this event for folks. These businesses constantly support our community. Support them. As they support us.
Absolutely.
So, definitely. Good deal. And then again, come on out this Friday. Everything gets underway at 10 a.m. on the Chaves County Courthouse lawn. It's a come and go all day event, 10 to 8. So if you can't make it till 2 or 3 or 7, or if you get there 7, you better get a lot done in an hour because it wraps up at 8. But whenever you have time, bring your family down to the Chaves County Courthouse lawn. Don't forget, plenty of parking behind the courthouse. There's even parking across the street here too. And I don't like telling people, but there's a city parking spot like right in here. I was like 6. I don't like telling people because
shut up.
Yeah, right. It's my spot. It's my little gem. But there's some open spots. As long as you don't park there during the week, you can park there Friday in the afternoon. You're fine. But the rest of the time, save me a spot. Yeah. And, all right. I tried to get the mayor to put a sign up, but he wasn't too down with that for some reason.
New mayor, you haven't tried in a while.
Oh, we have a new mayor.
That's
I've not
right.
tried. Let me turn those screws next week when he's on, or 2 weeks here when he's on.
That's funny.
Very good.
I will say something real quick before we wrap up. I will tell my story with Rhiannon to anybody who will listen. It's an absolute life changer. The early intervention and Los Positos and having Tobosa, a place like Tobosa. I mean, they made an insane amount of difference in my life and so many others. So I cannot stop singing the praises of Tobosa. It's an amazing, wonderful organization. You guys do fantastic work, and I encourage anybody out there in the community, if you have questions, if you have even just if your child isn't hitting those milestones like you think they should be. Ask questions. Ask your pediatrician. Find out. Push. Turn the screws as much as you can because it makes a difference, and Tobosa makes a difference.
And everything is free.
Absolutely,
exactly,
absolutely free.
And I'm curious to see what you guys can do in the future because I don't know. I live a lifetime where some of the stuff you do with early we didn't even think of that kind. You know what I mean? It wasn't on the radar, and now it is. And I'm like, what's it going to look like in 15, 20 years from now? What's next? Are you guys going to be able to, I don't know, give kids still not born yet eyeglasses? I have no idea. What? Yeah, we can do it in the womb now. The contacts, not eyeglasses. They're too big. But contacts we can do. I don't know. Where are we next?
Figure something out.
It's time to pick out your prenatal frames.
Where are we at next? I don't know. It's impressive, but agree. Come on out this Friday. Learn, and if you can't wait. If you're just learning, please reach out to Tobosa. Go to trytobosa.org, Trytob. I know it's one to say Tobosa with an A, but it's Tobosa.
Right.
I did that a couple times. I was like, no, it's an O, not an A. And anyway, and then go to that website. You can learn about, I know because there's a lot going on here, but you can learn about all the different services, probably even some we didn't even cover that Tobosa can offer for your family. And of course, if you got time, come on out this Friday. Come have some fun. Bring the whole family. Come enjoy the music and enjoy the food and enjoy the baseball. Enjoy the Invaders and of course, if you want to come see some Invader games, go to trytobosa.org or go to Tobosa's Facebook page. You can just type in Tobosa Developmental Services. It'll pop right up. And then you'll find the flyer for this Friday's event there. It's a big green flyer, alien green.
Yeah,
and click. There's some links in the middle of the page there with the dates of June and July Invader games. That if you click the link to the corresponding one, you can get tickets to that game. And then when you go through that portal, that actually helps Tobosa. So a portion of your ticket purchase will go back to the programs at Tobosa here too.
And to get any information on any of the children's links, you can go to the Try Tobosa, and they have links that go there. And we also have Facebook pages. So just
very good.
Everybody's connected.
Is there a main phone number could people call if you're not into the reading stuff and want to talk to a human being? What's the best number to do that?
575-624-1025.
Very good.
That's the number.
And that's kind of the umbrella number. So if you're I want to learn about those, they'll transfer you to the appropriate place you need to go to there. But if you like to talk to human beings, I know some people. I get it. There's times I don't want to be touched, and times I got it. Leave me alone. And then there's times I'm all right, wet nurse me through this entire thing.
I need a human voice. I get lonely sometimes, Sometimes I just want to call the 624-1025 and be like, how are you? How are you guys doing?
And they're do you got anything? No, just want to see how you're doing.
I'm just curious. Can I ask you how your day's been in a long time? I think so. Let's talk.
We would love that.
There you go. Well, maybe you should do it. He's got busy Friday. He's got to wear pinstripes. He's got
scratch.
Oh, and be Sean.
Now the peanuts that are being provided, will these be warm nuts?
Yeah, we could.
Okay, I just need to know if my nuts will be warmed.
Okay.
I'm a man who likes a warm nut.
It's not an airplane, it's a ball game.
I just like a warm nut, all right? I'm a man who prefers
warm nuts
a warm
are for
nut.
airplanes. Room temperature nuts are for ball games.
Just give me your nuts however you got them. I'll warm them up myself.
Have you ever had warm nuts?
Yes, they're amazing.
When I was All right, I got real quick. One time in my life, I've flown first class. One time. And when I did it, that's when I learned of, do you want warm nuts? I didn't know that was a thing. Like, I was like, all of a sudden, this lady handed me a bowl of nuts and said, would you like warm nuts? I'm like, no, they're fine. And no, I'm just kidding.
Is that a weird way to ask for a blanket? No, that's not it.
But I said, but I took them, and warm nuts are way better than room temperature nuts. I didn't realize that was a thing until I ate the thing.
Well, I mean, it's a backup plan.
Yeah.
It is going to be like 100.
That's true.
Yeah,
your nuts will be warm regardless.
Exactly.
So you're welcome.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you, ladies. We appreciate it, and we'll see you guys on Friday. And again, folks, come on out, have some fun, learn about all the different opportunities available through Tobosa, and come on out, get you some Invaders tickets, and meet the team, and just it's a fun Friday before you start your Memorial Day plans. And come out and spend it with us here too. Good deal. Well, thank you guys. We'll see you next time. Okay.
All right. Sounds great.
All right. It is 9:52. Let's play a few commercials and some news before we go. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Thanks for joining us. The severe weather causing Tuesday night concerns, but so far, good news is we've heard of no significant damage from any of these storms from Tuesday. The FBI is warning that sextortion schemes are on the rise in New Mexico, especially the southern portion of the state. So far this year, the FBI is reporting 107 cases involving allegations of an individual convincing another person, usually a teenager, to engage in explicit activity over social media applications. The Eddy County Patriotic Association is hosting a Memorial Day parade and ceremony on Monday. The parade lineup will begin at 8 a.m. at the Carlsbad Municipal Schools Administration Building at 408 North Canyon. The parade will then head down Canyon toward the Carlsbad Veterans Memorial Park. A short ceremony will take place at the park. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
The truth and nothing but. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
I'll say this. Stacey Abrams certainly did not help herself out at all. And she wants to be the governor of the state of Georgia, but she declared over the weekend that Georgia is the worst state in the country to live. She actually said those words. It's not sitting well with voters going into this primary election. And my answer to her is, well, if you don't like it, Stacey, there's 49 other states you're free to go live in. If you think Georgia is the worst state, I lived in Georgia 4 years. I can tell you it's one of the best states in the country. I love Georgia. Everywhere from Atlanta to Savannah and everywhere in between. It is a beautiful, beautiful state with wonderful people.
Keeping you on the straight path. Later today, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
Individual results may vary. There's no guarantee that past performance will be indicative of future results. Invest wisely.
Paid for by Chaikin Analytics. The man who predicted the 2020 crash warns of a huge event in 2022. His name is Mark Chaikin, and his newest prediction has gone viral with 1.5 million views. According to Chaikin, who spent 50 years on Wall Street, a historic event in 2022 will cause a massive shift in the wealth divide. This will affect anyone who owns stock, says Chaikin, who accurately predicted the 2020 crash. Most people will never see it coming. Chaikin, a popular guest on Jim Cramer's Mad Money, has never shied away from sharing his controversial predictions. Now, Chaikin is pointing to a huge change in the way thousands of companies will need to do business in 2022. It'll affect everyone from Apple to Amazon, he says. Watch his full brand new warning free of charge at stockmarketshift.com/prepare. Go to stockmarketshift.com/prepare to learn more about 2022's huge event predicted by Mark Chaikin. That's stockmarketshift.com/prepare.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. Well, you're familiar with regular football, 11 players aside. How about in New Mexico? You've got, for small schools, you've got 8-man football and 6-man football, 7-on-7 summer camps. Well, how about 4-on-4? There's going to be a 4-on-4 flag football tournament this weekend at Cielo Grande. And the folks that are organizing this, chiefly NFL veteran David Macklin, they're hoping that this turns into an annual thing. It's kind of been a last-minute addition, but if you've got a kid that wants to play some flag football, there's 6 divisions coming up this weekend at Cielo Grande, 8 and under, 10 and under, 12 and under, 15 and under, 16 and 17-year-olds, and 18 and over. To register, go to glorydays4on4.com/register. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Stocks bounced around a bit on Wall Street at mid-morning, trading modestly higher as investors await the Federal Open Market Committee's release of the minutes of its latest meeting. Markets remain on edge about interest rate hikes in the U.S. and elsewhere, as well as Russia's war on Ukraine and a Chinese economic slowdown. Well, if you're reconsidering your plans to retire soon, you are not alone.
The stock market slump this year has taken a big bite out of investors' portfolios, including retirement plans like 401ks. The S&P 500, the benchmark for many index funds, is down about 17% since its all-time high in early January.
That's correspondent Jeremy House reporting. Durable goods orders up 0.4% last month. It was the 6th increase in 7 months. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
This is the moment you've been waiting for. You've convinced yourself it's warm enough to swim in your pool for the first time this season, even if the temperature still carries a hint of fading cold. Who cares? You've paid your winter dues. With hours inside and too much pie, it's time to open your pool. Barbecues, suntans, and games of Marco Polo. Here you come. The only question is, how ready is your pool? It has been waiting patiently for this day too, ready to make your neighbors drool. If you rely on BioGuard products, get ready to slap on some sunscreen and fire up the grill. Not only does BioGuard provide simple solutions, they also have expert dealers who can help you be the best pool owner you can be. Because when your eyes sparkle at the side of your pool, they should always return the favor. Visit your BioGuard dealer at Mays Lumber, 115 South Virginia in Roswell, and start the season off right.
We cut to order, special order, products old and new. You can count on Mays Lumber Company.
Have you been dealing with stress or anxiety lately? Don't let that stop you from getting the dental work done that you know needs to happen. Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher with Carabelli Dental, and every day we help people just like you have a relaxing and pain-free experience with IV sedation. Just imagine a dental experience where you don't remember the needles or the drills. If that's what you're looking for, we can help. Let us ease your stress and create the best dental experience ever.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main or call 622-4455.
Carlsbad Main Street in the city of Carlsbad invite you to join us June 10th and 11th for Cavern Fest 2022. Cavern Fest kicks off Friday, June 10th at 6 o'clock with food trucks, vendors, and music headlined by Curtis Grimes. Saturday, June 11th starts at noon with music, vendors, and activities all day, capped off with Holly Tucker and headliner the Randy Rogers Band. Cavern Fest is free thanks to our sponsors, A.R. Foreman Construction, Carlsbad Chevrolet, XTO, and many more.
J Block for governor. J Block, conservative, veteran, leader. J Block is the only choice to stand up and defeat Michelle Lujan Grisham. Mr. Block is a veteran of combat, serving in Afghanistan, a nuclear commander, and winner of the New Mexico State Republican Convention. As an America First conservative, Mr. Block has turned blue seats red and has never lost a race. Mr. Block will end the madness in Santa Fe once and for all. He's not a weatherman. He's not a rhino. J Block is a conservative, veteran, and a